The Unorthodox Haven will cover a wide range of topics to offer unique perspectives, pushing back on conventional wisdom. We hope to inspire self-discovery over emulation. We believe you should think outside the box, regardless of what it looks or sounds like to others. Here at Unorthodox Haven, there is no right or wrong answer, just your own unique perspective.
Because I get decertified, and especially in the field of what I do.
Okay.
If I go to
again, you said.
Hold on. Is it because of like a clearance?
I missed it. What you say again? Because I was doing that shit.
Yeah. So being in my community, like, hey, it used to be very, very frowned upon, right? And it's a cultural thing, right? In my community within the Air Force about going to seek help when you need help, right? Because you could lose your certification, you could get suspended, and you won't be able to fly or be able to work shifts or do what you need to do.
Is that the same? I mean, just for going to therapy, or are you saying like going to like a psychiatrist? Because it's different.
No,
both.
Like both. Yeah, because it's reportable.
Yep.
And they ask you what you want to go talk about. Hey, do we need to suspend you?
Like okay. So if they think you too, if you might be apt to be too stressed,
I could lose my special pay and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Depending on how long they plan on suspending me for. So it was kind of like a fine line. Now they're trying to get away from that, right? Culturally, because they understand that people need to talk to people.
Motherfuckers be going home and be outside looking in, look like they got the best life, and they sit down in the chair and blow their brains out.
Exactly.
Don't tell nobody, don't be no note. They be like, all right, baby, see you later. Pow.
But even that too as well, it's the stress.
Yeah.
The stress levels, right? Yeah. And the stress affects your health at the end of the day. So if you want to make sure like, hey, you are a healthy individual, it's going to take their mental and physical all together, right? And taking care of yourself to be able to, hey, I'm okay, at the end of the day. But talking to somebody, I don't frown upon it myself. It just, hey, it's been culturally one of those things that we didn't do.
So but you know why though? Like what about it? 'Cause I know for me, like me and you talked about it. Because what I know a therapist to be, I never had an example of a black person being a therapist. So whenever I heard the word like therapy, my whole mind frame would send me to think like, I'm about to sit in front of a white person that went to school, that read all these books and got taught what these colleges was, you know what I'm saying? Like I already know what they about to, I don't want their tools. Like, you know what I'm saying? And plus they haven't walked my life. They don't know shit I've been through. Right. So they don't got nothing to offer me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Cause you don't have a perspective of the shit I went through. Like the cognitive dissonance thing. Yeah. Like you gonna give me some advice based on something that you don't even
you ain't never been through. Yeah,
you ain't never been through, or you can't even understand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like,
it's important when you do finally, when neither one of y'all finally go, even if you don't go for a long time. But it's important to pick the therapist. You don't just take the first person because they're a therapist. You know what I'm saying? You find somebody. It got to be a cultural fit, so you can feel like you're being understood. Because if you're not being understood, I mean, it could be a white person too sometimes. But if you feel like you're not understood and they're just like reciting, like you said, something that they learned, and they you know what I'm saying, they're giving you responses on case study and not off of like, okay, yeah, I've been there, or I understand that, or you know what I'm saying?
I need real like application for me to make sense of it. You know what I'm saying? And if I feel like you ain't got the real life application to give me those tools, then I be devaluing. She's like, I don't need to go to fucking therapy.
But I feel the same way because I looked at therapy too because I tried the marriage counseling thing too as well. And I said I give it a try for the benefit, of the relationship. I want to make sure I did everything possible to to make this work. Yeah. And we went through the counseling. Of course, the first one was like a white lady, right? And I was just like, I'm really not feeling this. It was kind of one-sided, I felt like. And I was like, who is this person to tell me to give me advice? Right. She don't know what a black home is like. She don't know the type of shit that, I have to deal with as a black man. So why I'm sitting here listening to her? So I didn't want to listen. I was just, at the end of the day, I was like, hell no. I don't want to do this no more. I'm not going back. And I didn't go back. Yeah. And then fast forward another time, right? Hey, she found a black lady. Black lady was cool. She was more receptive, more open. So that lasted a little bit longer, right? Because she was understanding. She didn't look at, she looked at both sides of the story. She was able to hear me out and maybe understand me a little bit more. Yeah. Because she understand my environment. She understand the culture a little bit more. She understand like, hey, the things that I'm dealing with and things that I'm going through. So that kind of worked out. And it benefited the relationship for a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, I ended up getting divorced, right? All right, so everybody know that.
So let me ask you a question. So let me ask you a question, though, because earlier B had mentioned that when he went to couples therapy that he didn't It didn't work because of what? Would you say the reason why your couple therapy didn't work?
Probably a few different reasons. For one, not being open to certain things, but that takes me to like what the conglomerate has stated. You know what I mean? Probably like bias is the first thing that comes to mind with that, right? Because we automatically assume the absence of complexion doesn't mean that they can afford us, you know, the opportunities that we feel we need and deserve because they didn't walk the same fine line in life that we had or share the same experiences in life.
Yeah, word.
However, another big word that was thrown out was also perspective. But if we saying that, but we excluding certain people of being dismissive, we want to hear what aligns with the ideologies as opposed to getting vast perspective from all the angles, right? So we are placing a limit on what we can utilize in order for that growth. And for me, like an important part of growth, right, is the vast perspective. So we have to be open to everything, and which goal they already attested to, because he at least made the attempt. Saw the counselor that he didn't think would fit the mold, but did we give absolute chance to that individual, right? Were we completely open, or did we shut off, some of what was, to be had?
Do you think you was like, when you went in there, did you really like what it was? I think you said earlier, you said you didn't share all of your inner thoughts. That's what
exactly. I suppressed a lot of it because of the fear of...
You ain't open up fully either?
I didn't open up. But I would say, let me do this. I was just going through the motion the first time because I said, hey, maybe this is bigger than me.
Okay.
At the end of the day. Maybe this is bigger than what I think.
Yeah.
And all those biases that I have in my head, right?
Yeah.
So I said, hey, let me give it a try. So I gave it a try, right? At the end of the day, I still was, a little standoffish because I was like, I'm not really feeling this. I went in there with the wrong, with the negative energy at the end of the day, right? With thinking that, hey, I don't do this. Everybody I hang out with, like you guys, they ain't doing no fucking counseling. They ain't doing no therapy.
Yeah, real
My
shit.
uncle them didn't do therapy or grow up doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? We just went to church, we prayed about it, and that was the end of it. Yeah. Let it be.
Yeah, I feel the reality of it is though, and I'm glad you stated that, because we'd be like, yo, this person ain't dealing with that, but they absolutely are. We just not being vocal about it. You know what I mean? Like we all dealing with the same struggles, different lives. You know what I mean?
So
like
walk around tucking that shit in.
And that male bravado, that ego gets in the way of us taking the pathway toward the growth and the healing that's necessary, because I'm allowing external factors to dictate what I'm gonna do and what I won't do for my own personal growth.
Why you think we do that shit though?
It's cultural for one. I mean, you already stated one of them is that it's cultural. Like, depending on the family you grow up in, the environment you grow up in, and a lot of other factors, and then you add social media into that. Like, it's a whole endless route into things that can take somebody from wanting to take measures to benefit themselves to talking themselves out of it. Because it's so easy to think in the negative realm with things, right? And be like, yo, I could find 10, 15, 20 reasons why I shouldn't do this.
Right.
But I won't even put effort into thinking about the one or two things that I could benefit from whatever step you may want to take toward healing or growth or whatever it may be.
The fact of the matter is that therapy is, that shit hard. Like, especially like personal therapy, that shit hard, because now you got to take that same criticism, but you got to look at it and be like, yo, like, when you start to realize that all these things that you do to affect people in negative ways, that shit is just a reflection of how you really feel about yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Say that again?
Like, things that you do to affect people negatively, the like negative impact you have over lives by how you treat people or actions that you take, is really about how you think about yourself negatively. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you really don't. You do these things because you think less of yourself than you actually know. You know what I'm saying? And you walk around, I'm a confident nigga. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I got a lot of insecurities. But then if you start looking at certain shit and the reason and the way you do things, you realize that those shits are really just your insecurities that you're suppressing. That shit just coming out in another way.
Yeah, real
you know what I'm saying? Whether you cheat, whether you steal, whether, you know what I'm saying?
Real
like,
talk.
it's the insecurities that you have that you don't address, that you push down so far, you forget about them, but them shits don't forget about you, and them shits show up, and you know what I'm saying?
Later on in different ways.
Those are the demons they used to tell us to go
and
to
that's
church
the
to pray
term
about.
he just used, right? Cognitive
Dissonance.
Yeah, exactly what you just explained.
But but even to your point, when we was younger, or especially grew up in the South, that was the demons you going to pray away. You really going to pray to them insecurities that you're supposed to go and deal with. But you know what I'm saying? You get taught that if you just pray about it and you focus on it, and it's some truth to that. But also you got to deal with yourself.
Yeah.
Before
it steps to that, right? At the end of the day, it just hey. Of course, we heard that term a lot growing up. Hey, pray and forget, right? you really can't
Pray
do
and
it.
forget?
Pray and forget about it, right?
Yeah.
Hey, say a prayer and then just let it go.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Like if
I
you're
see.
going through something that really ain't the best advice, I would say yes, pray about it, right? But you got to do things. You got to take steps to get preparation to get you to where you want to be or what you need to do to get over that actual conflict or whatever you're dealing with.
Yeah, you gotta address that shit.
You got to address it.
Well, I think we mentioned that shit earlier, man. You gotta like, for some reason, we don't address, like, we don't even. I mentioned something to B earlier, saying like, we don't even, especially black men, we don't even really know how to respond to shit because we don't even know what that shit is.
Exactly.
We don't even address it to even unpack it to understand what it is to know how to deal with it. We'll just like, this shit right here is bothering me. Fuck that shit. And just go do something else versus trying to figure out like, yo, why I feel like this?
Utilizing
like, what's
distraction.
triggering me? Yeah. Why am I triggered? Why is this shit triggering me? What is this shit attached to? You know what I mean? Am I really that triggered, or is it, you know what I'm saying? Is this really the remedy for what I really feeling going on?
See, I be trying to be in touch with myself, right? So like, I really, when I do something, it ain't nothing. Me and you talk about shit all the time too. We pause, super pause. But like when me and you be talking about shit, we be talking about like, I know there's never anything I do where I be like, I don't know why I do that. I know exactly why I do it. You know what I'm saying? I might not say it out loud to everybody, but I know why I'm doing this shit.
Very conscious of it. Yeah.
If you talking to yourself and you can tell yourself, it's the people that scare me is the person who really don't know why they do it, and they really live in this world where they think that everybody else just doing something to them. Everybody out to get them. It ain't never me. You be in 1,000 relationships, they don't never work out, and you like, man, it's because they did this and they did it, and well, never you.
Never looking inward. Never looking inward. It's always got to be
all
external
move on,
factors.
be happy, wealthy, healthy, and you sitting here sad, drinking McDonald's coffee. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard though for some people.
Cigarettes.
It's hard for some people to take that look in the mirror
It is.
and see the reflection of themselves and think about who are you? What am I to people? What do people think of me?
That last question, what do people? I don't think a lot of people ask themselves that shit. If they do, is they gloss over it. They're like, you'll have like a real short thought on it, and then you just keep it moving. Because if you really thought about like, yo, what the motherfuckers really think about me? And if you really had that thought and really sat with it, if you out here being a piece of shit, letting motherfuckers down, just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That shit you should internalize that shit and hopefully change for the better. You know what I mean? Unless you just embrace that shit.
We know people.
I agree to a point because I don't like the aspect of like, what does someone else think about me to make me value myself more or less, right?
Not
like
the value piece, basically to kind of give you an ideal of, hey, what's your perception
Right.
in
What are you
in your
putting out in the
environment?
world?
Yeah, what are you putting out in the world?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
If people are talking about you behind your back, what are they saying? You know what I'm saying?
If I'm a trash ass dad, right, at the end of the day, I'm a shitty daddy, right, and I look in the mirror and be like, damn, am I really a good dad? And I ask myself that question.
Right. Yeah.
And everybody perceive me like, they kind of know, like, hold on, good dads, I know I got a typical ideal of what a good dad look like if I know, right? And then I look at some other guys, I got a good idea. Then, of course, you know, the social norms and the TV and all the social media. Like, hey, you see all the dad stuff going on, right? So you got a good concept of what a good dad is. And you look at yourself and be like, hey, shit, am I really a good dad? Am I setting the right example? And
I do. I do like that.
Go ahead.
Not to the
But
self,
again,
hey,
it's
the value
not
piece.
to play this, not to play devil's advocate, but like, I get that to a degree because some people doing the best with what they have. You know what I mean? Like, what truly defines a good father? Because, go ahead.
So even when you're saying that, right? So is it what you think you perceive and you put out, or is what the people that's receiving what you put out? Which one matters more?
It should matter what they're receiving, in my personal opinion. Right?
Yeah, because that's the only thing that matters.
But there shouldn't be there's not a blueprint out there as to what that looks like, right? The societal norm says that there's this, right? If we looked at the television version of, this is what a good father looks like type thing, we're going to always try to match that. And anything you fall short of that, you're beating yourself up about, or not if you're completely dismissive to it. What it should be is, I need to do everything I can to benefit myself, to grow myself, have the mindset of the best person I can be for myself so I can in turn be the best person for someone else. Because before, again, looking outward, we got to look inward. Because if I'm not the best version of myself, how can I be better for anybody else? How can I benefit them? How can I do anything for anybody?
The only slippery slope with that shit is that a person can say, hey, I changed a whole lot. And in reality, they really ain't changed that much. And that will allow you to escape 2 years down the line and just keep kicking it. Like, you know what? I'm different than I was last year. So, you know what I'm saying? You move with a determined confidence.
That's all under perspective.
But I said that to say, because it's a different angle you could look at it. Look at yourself, right? In a different light. at the end of the day. Hey, that ain't to say it, end all be all, right?
Yeah.
On how people think about you, how they perceive you, right? But sometimes you can ask that question like, hey, am I really doing what I need to do
Yeah.
at the end of the day and take a look at the mirror and do that reflection there, right? Hey, what are some things I could do to better myself? Exactly what you said. Internalize in myself, make myself a better person. And then so go ahead and put that energy out into the world, right?
Yeah. I had a manager, this job I worked at, right? This real short lady, man. And she was so short it was scary. She had real little hands, and hands like this big. But,
Stupid.
for real. And she shook my hands with her, and them joints was sweaty. It was nasty. But so she would always focus on like in our job, we have benchmarks we need to reach as part of our job. So if we couldn't reach those, we had to come up with like an analysis of why we couldn't do it. But she would also, even if the other person, if it was a manager, hiring manager, whatever, she would only focus on what you could do better. Because at the end of the day, and I kind of adopted that philosophy because you always have to ask yourself, she would always say, I'm going to ask you this and only you can answer it. Have you done every single thing you could do to be successful at hitting your goal? And the answer is always no. You could always do more.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You can never, if you have exhausted all avenues, then you must have been at it for a really long time. You know what I'm saying? Because there's always new avenues coming up every day.
100%.
So there's no way that you can always say that you have done and part of that is realizing that your best is different every single day. You don't have the same best. You can go in the gym one day and be, you're having a good day and you throwing the weights around, and you can come in another day and you can't put up half the amount you put up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Real
It
talk.
don't mean it's so much perception based. The line moves so much. So she was right and she's wrong at the same time, because you can never exhaust it. But also you have to realize that your best is going to be a different space every single day. There's no way that you can come in
Real talk.
and have the same exact performance. You can be top athlete in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to have the same exact performance every
Every
single
single
day.
time you show up.
Yeah.
Fact.
You're going to have identical days. You know what I'm saying? And it's great when you can string a bunch of those together, but it's not always going to be. And so you have to, it's part of being men is a lot of times men don't stop and like forgive themselves for shortcomings. We beat ourselves up about it silently and let that shit drag us down, and then we push it down inside, because all we know how to do when you have conflict is put your head down and keep pushing through.
Pushing.
Until that
I'm
shit
famous
starts
for
lighting
that,
up.
boy.
Yeah.
I'm good at that. I'm good at just putting my head down and keep it moving.
Yeah.
But if you don't
man.
address that shit, then it's just eventually, like, even when, like, I think a lot of times, women always have these things where they're talking about like settling and all of this shit, right? Men settle more than women because men are simpler. You know what I'm saying? We need less things in order to be happy.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? If I
Okay.
need peace, if I just need peace and quiet,
Yeah.
I just need you to leave me alone for a little
Yeah.
bit. I don't have these vast, types of emotions that I go through where I'm this level mad and then I'm this level quiet. And you know what I'm saying? It might just be mad, quiet, happy, sad. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot more simplistic than
Theirs is like, this is mad too. But sometimes this is mad and sad and ugly. You know what I'm saying? You be like, I don't know which one it is
And
all the
fucking
time.
crazy too as well.
Yeah, I'm just mad about absolutely nothing, and I don't want you to solve my problem. I want you to just let me be mad and then care about me being mad.
Yo, that
You just be like, yo, what am I supposed to do?
Yo.
But don't say nothing to me about caring. I just need to look at your
Yo.
face and know that you want to ask me questions, but you can't.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, nah. Yo.
Yeah. Worse. I should
I'm
blow
gonna
me.
just go on about my day because most of the time, I can't speak for everybody, but when I wake up at the top of the morning, I kind of choose to be happy in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, word.
Shit could go bad and everything ain't always good, but I try to operate under the idea that everything gonna be all right.
Word.
Because my victory loves preparation. You know what I'm saying? I prepare myself for the next opportunity. I'm always looking. I keep my eyes open. I'm trying to make sure that I can move forward. I'm always thinking about, all right, what can I do to be better? All right, I've been sitting here mad long, man. Maybe do some fucking push-ups. Yo, I woke up this morning. I told you I try to hit my joints every morning.
Yeah.
I missed yesterday. So I woke up this morning and I was just sitting there bullshitting, trying to miss the second day.
Yeah.
Fuck up my consistency. But I'm like, nah. So I got down, had to do double ups, double up my push-ups, you know what I'm saying? Make it harder for myself. When you called me, that's what I was, when you couldn't hear me,
Yeah.
I just finished.
Oh,
I finished
okay.
the last set. So I'm
Bad.
like, yo, I got to do something. All right, boom. I want to prioritize my health. I wake up in the morning, 4 something in the morning, and sometimes I think about a bill, or I think about, damn, man, I'm gonna be 50 when my daughter 12. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I need to work out. I want to make sure that when she, you know what I'm saying, that I can always run around with her.
Nigga, I can relate. Nigga, my son about to be 1 in next month.
How old are you?
42.
See, I'll be 40 this year, and my baby 3.
Damn, you got
so
a
I
1-year-old. You gonna have an 8-year-old at 50.
Yeah, I gotta take care of myself, just like my brother said, man. Hey, you gotta take care of yourself. You wanna stick around for these kids, man.
Yeah,
Dexterity, man.
I want to see them all through there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta make sure they taken care of too. So I
I just
take
want to
care of
make sure
myself.
she old enough to take care of herself before I leave this planet, man.
That's
And
it.
plus,
Yeah,
yo,
word,
listen,
word.
And leave it a little bit of something. You know what I'm saying? Behind. You know.
I was just about to say, man, listen, I got 401k, man, and this nigga telling me if I keep investing, by the 20 years from now, my nigga, he telling me how much money I'm gonna have. I'm like, word.
Yeah,
I want to
exactly.
see that shit, and I want her to be able to see that shit. But you know, those come down to some of the things. You know, we just keep. If you don't never like shit like this is good because everybody can talk. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times men be around other men, and then you know,
clam up.
everybody got those friends that they just when they start talking about feelings. They stop because it's like they be like, oh nigga, am I gay? You know what I'm saying? Like they don't want to discuss that shit, you stop niggas from talking.
I want to touch that heavily because probably like
Y'all got me out.
yeah, I'm gonna touch that topic. I'm gonna touch that topic because maybe what a month ago, D, I sent you that video clip or the audio clip. Address it. I titled it "Address It."
What?
4 different times I've heard "Address It," right? And what I state in that, I talked many times about when do we normalize getting to the point where men can sit at the table, and then to go deeper than that, us as black men sit at the table and have these what once upon a time were uncomfortable conversations, and at a comfortable, place and space, have these conversations, candid discussion about things so that we can navigate our own issues and hardships we're dealing with, put it out there on the silver platter, and we all navigate it together so we can repair each other at the same time by putting ideas out there and, anything else that's beneficial towards that. And there's been a few different things that he was talking about that like I align with, and some things that I struggle with that I want to get to a point of. Like he mentioned about he wakes up every morning in a happy place, happy space, right? It took me a long time, and I'm still working, in that avenue to get to the end destination, which is endless, of getting to that point, right? Rather than waking up every day with worry, which I think a lot of men do. Like anxiety is at an all-time high, depression is at an all-time high.
For sure.
Anxiety plagued me, waking up every day expecting the worst, expecting something that's going to go to the left side,
Shit,
right?
when you were first sergeant, right? So you had to be ready, right?
I had to. And dealing with everybody's issues, I never had a chance. I can't even say I never had a chance. I never gave myself the time and space to address my own internal issues, right? Yeah, do that later. But later, I said it on a shirt. They already knows I'm trying to do the clothing line, but I said it. Do it now because later becomes never. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And so when I never address things, I just allowed it to compound. And then the anger builds and, frustrations build. Isolation becomes next. And then what's next? Yeah. And I'm scared of the what's next. You know what I mean? So have to get to a point of like, all right, I need, what do I overcome? How do I overcome being in a state of anxiety and worry all the time, right? Because what that worry became was me doing self-sabotage. Yeah. Rather than me waiting on chaos to find me, I created chaos. So I didn't have to worry about hitting the point of being happy, only to be let down, right? So like, I want to be happy, but I would never allow myself to get too happy because I didn't want something to come and blow that up. Yeah. And now that low becomes lower. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, many men deal with that. My personal opinion. That's my own personal opinion. But like,
the same way. You don't want to get too high because you're like, if I get too high and I start expecting this, then the bottom will fall out and we're going to be back down here because I wasn't always prepared for the bad shit to happen. So it's like you're in a constant state of preparation for some shit that might not never come. And the only time it takes for it to come one time to validate it, and then you ain't going to never stop doing that shit.
I ain't like that. Like, what I'm saying? I'm a little different. I just... And maybe I've gotten to this point, but now I just be like, you know what? I know for a fact it's gonna be all right, no matter what the fuck happened. No matter even if I fall on my face, like I just know, like, you know what? That shit don't matter. Like, and then it took a while for me to get there, but now like I've changed my why I need to be happy. Like, cause I literally I will not let anything disrupt my peace or affect how I feel. I gotta can't nothing control me but me. And so if I wake up in the morning and I'm like, you know what, today gonna be a good day. It don't matter what the fuck happened.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a good day.
I'm gonna have a good day. Yeah. I mean, if whatever is perceived to be bad, all that shit ain't bad. You know what I mean? That shit is just a thing. You know what I mean? And so that shit just allowed me to stay in this part, like, you know what? And then I start cutting negative motherfuckers off.
And see,
If you was negative, complain too much, I can't even fuck with you. And I would tell you, I'd be like, yo, listen, yo, if you keep bringing me this negative energy, I'm such of it's affecting me so much. Like you're not an empath, right? So it'll roll off of you. But I can't keep accepting this negative energy, yo.
Right.
Like if you mad, then I'll be like trying to figure out, like, damn, that's fucked up. And then I'll internalize with you so I can like get on your level and give you some good advice or try to give you, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But that after a while you start realizing, like, yo, I don't want to be in that fucking space, yo.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I would rather be in a positive space. So when people start bringing me the negative issues, like if we can't talk about a positive way to move forward with this, I can't consume too much of this negative energy.
Yeah.
And I got real strict about that shit. And all that I did was like, yo, if you on that shit, yo, I'm going to chop you straight up.
See, look, I'm like a mutated version of that, right? Because I still want to have a good day, but I also, when I think of like now, like the way I think about like happiness specifically is that shit more so deferred. Like my happiness is derived. You know, I love to see, I want my daughter to be happy. I want her to have, I look at the experiences I went through with my pops, and I want to do a lot of things he did, but I want to be the opposite on a lot of other shit because I want her to have a different experience and a different relationship with me. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Man, my pops, our shit was like rough for a long time. And until I started doing well on my own, that's when our shit got better. You know what I'm saying? I want her to have that experience all through life.
Yeah.
Her mom is tougher. You know what I'm saying? So I want her to always have somebody she can talk to. And you got to open up that space from like young, you know what I'm saying?
Real talk.
I think every man is petrified of their daughter becoming like a loose woman that, you know what I'm saying, that we have run into multiple times in our lives.
Yeah.
And they all looking for like a father or some shit like that. And you see it, that insecure that's written on their forehead.
Yeah, real talk.
All you want is for your daughter to not be that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but knowing there's limitations on our output, though.
I mean, you don't control what they're going to be, right?
100%, yeah.
But you can also set a standard of living for them that they're accustomed to, or set a standard of a way that they expect to be treated by you, and whether they deviate from that when they get up, that's on them. But I'm saying, like, you can lay a foundation for them where they not, at the bare minimum, they're not going to look for something that you never gave them. In a man, you know what I'm saying? That's the bare. You can at least do that. They're gonna still be who they are.
At least you give them expectations at the bare minimum. They already know.
Hey man, that's just called putting them on game, man. At the end of the day, you got to speak game to them and let them know that, hey, this is how the world operates. At the end of the day,
and y'all gotta have
don't fall for that fucking okie doke, because them niggas gonna try you right at the end of the day. And this what the okie doke look like. Your daddy gonna tell you because I was that nigga there.
That's what I want to have. That's what I want with her. I want her to be able to do that openly, and we be able to talk, and she can be able to tell me about shit she going through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she don't have to hide it, and that's all.
That
I just
part.
want.
That's the biggest thing.
Whoever you
Establishing
are,
that relationship.
that's who you are. But I want you to be able to be who you are around your father without.
Yeah.
You know, even if you can't do that shit around your mom.
Yeah. When I went to Utah, when I went to Utah with when the guy hired me out in Utah, his relationship with his daughter taught me so much, dog. Because I went out there, and so our culture, when you're like a young age, you like 8, 9 years old. There's certain kind of common courtesies you do with adults. You ain't out here cursing. You ain't out here, you know what I'm saying, mimicking no rap lyrics. Or you know what I mean?
You don't interrupt adults when they speaking. Like kids do that shit today. I'd be like, I get so mad.
Word. So check though. So right. So I kind of got the same kind of shit, right? So when I went out there, they didn't do that. He didn't have that relationship with his daughter. They had it where she could say dick jokes. She could curse. Whatever was on the table, he treated her like an adult, right? Like in certain spaces like that, right? And at first, it was very like off-putting to me. I was like, damn, like, because it was weird, because our culture is different. But what I started knowing him over a 5-year period, right? And I saw her grow up, and I saw their relationship mature. And what I saw when I realized that she wasn't afraid to bring him anything.
Yeah.
She was comfortable enough to, no matter what she had going on, she come and talk to her dad about it.
See, that's a dog. That is exactly what I want. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to, listen, if you smoke and you smoking outside, and I find out, not when you're underage, but I'm saying like you older and shit, and you know what I'm saying? If that's what you do, I want to know at least. You know what I'm saying? Let me put you on game. They been smoking my whole life.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what not to do. Don't go smoking around a bunch of dudes. Don't be smoking no blunts that's already rolled up. You know what I'm saying? Let me be able to, if you're drinking, don't leave your drink around, man. Make sure if you leave that drink there, you get another one. If you don't have no money and you want to call, I will send you. Don't drink that shit.
Yeah, you just wanted to make good decisions at the end
give
of the
them
day.
an idea, man, because bad shit is going to happen. They're going to get into things. They're going to be out in the street without you, but at least be armed with the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to do it, if somebody try to give you this, don't do that. Don't never do this. I'm going to show you a family member. Oh, yeah, you want to smoke crack? Listen, this nigga smoke crack. Come look at him.
I just did that in Atlanta. My daughter the other day, somebody was wandering across the street. I was like, look at that. Okay. Mental health, drugs, bad drugs, no matter what, what this brother done went through or what done happened to him, I'm telling you, it was some drugs associated with it, right? Take a look at him and look at that example right there. And they was just quiet. Man. I was like, hey, don't be around people. Don't be trying to anything that they give you. Hookahs, like you got to know who your friends are. You got to really trust these folks. Don't take nothing from nobody. Don't let you drink along. All the same stuff you just named out. I told her that stuff too. I tell my kids all the time, always trust your gut.
Yeah.
Always trust that first instinct.
Word.
Because me, I feel like it's God telling you, hey, which is God is you. If y'all want to talk about that too as well, I think God is you because you that image, hey, that you talking to yourself and you letting it. And it's letting you know, right?
Yeah, like this ain't for me.
This ain't for you.
This
and
ain't
that come
for
back to
There's
that
been a lot of
foundation.
situations that I've been in.
You know you don't do that shit when you're around us. And
Exactly.
you know that I would be like, that's a bad idea.
Word.
And that feeling that you get in the stomach come from what I taught you. You know what I'm saying? And trust that.
Yeah, and I never want my daughter to be with a grimy ass nigga too, like some dirty ass nigga,
dirty ass.
disrespectful ass.
The only
nigga,
way I combat that right there is just I control what I look like, and in hopes that when she gets to a point of choosing a long-term mate, that how we commonly see with girls, they find an image or somebody that has some qualities of her father, whoever her father was. If her father was an abusive person, she probably gonna land there in a you know what I'm saying? She gonna look at that and be like, this is love. She gonna that weird internalization, she internalized that this is love. So I try to be like, listen, I need to be a motherfucker that take care of yourself health-wise, you know what I'm saying? And when I pull up, I don't need to have a big ass belly. I don't need to be looking, you know what I'm saying? Because I want her to pull those things from me. And so when she go pick a mate, she look for somebody to fucking take care of herself. You know what I'm saying? Or at least have that, you know what I mean, that eating habit. She hit with all that.
I look at that shit like we talk about this all the time too. Like, but when I look at that same kind of thing, like what I want to show her along with being healthy, right? Mm-hmm. I also want her to know about, I want her to have that hustle in her. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like that she not looking for somebody to take care of them, and she not looking for she not looking for a mate to make all the decisions for her. Get that hustle in you. You know what I'm saying?
Where she can survive on her own.
Yeah, where you can survive on your own and you can figure out a way to make a way. You know what I'm saying? Like you can make something happen. You will always be thinking about ways to become better in some way. You know what I'm saying? And always make sure that you're stable and you can take care of yourself, you know?
Yeah, spark that creativity, that innovation within her.
Right.
Be that spark, right? At the end of the day, like it's a lot to going in and just trying to mold a human, right? At the end of the day, mold your own human. What can I do better? To have my daughter or my son grow up and be a better reflection of me.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I know I try my hardest to like instill like good things in them, good notes, good little anything I could tell them or show them on a daily basis. If I see something like I was at the gym yesterday. And I seen something, I be telling my daughter all the time, it said something, they said, talent means nothing without hard work. And I tell her that all the time. Like, it's stuff like that I just take to them and I just give it to them on a daily basis because I never know, we not here forever. Yeah. And I want to make sure I just keep pouring and pouring and pouring as much as I can into them because I feel like I have to do it because on the backhand, like I didn't have that myself. Yeah. And I want to be like, hey, that best version. I want to be somebody who's motivating and who could spark the next president. Shit, I don't care. Like whatever I could spark into you to be a great citizen, to be a great American. I don't care. I know some of us like, hey, we have a anti-American, like, growing up in your neighborhoods or your environment, anti-American, we don't feel like, hey, we belong, but I always try to instill that in me. Even if I'm in the military, it has nothing to do with that, but I just try to, hey, be the best version of you, be the best,
be the best that you
citizen
you
could be.
Well, what you had, I think a lot of our motivations are tied to what we felt we lacked.
Yeah,
You know what
stuff
I'm
we
saying?
missed. We
Yeah,
always try to do over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
and-
overdo that shit. You know
But
what
I
I'm saying?
think
That's so true.
But in overdoing it sometimes, so I want to be careful when she get older. That's why I want to have her the hustle in it, right? Because I still want to, like overly support her, but I also know that the things that we were lacking has also put us in the positions that we're in now. And had we not lacked those, we may have been completely different people.
Yep, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So I think about that too. What they say, they always say, damn, it's something to the effect of people that go through the toughest struggles make the weakest children. Because they spend their whole time overcompensating for those struggles that they went through, so their kids, you know what I'm saying?
They don't have to go through
you
that,
see
yeah.
comedians, you see artists who like these artists are like troubled artists, you know what I'm saying? But when they finally make it and they blow up, they make millions of dollars and whatever, and they're super successful, their kids become like drug addicts, and you know what I'm saying? They have these problems because they're so taken care of that they never had to go through anything. You know what I'm saying? They never went through that pressure to make a diamond. So when the pressure come on them, they don't know what to do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to handle it because they've never had to have conflict resolution.
You have a mentor? You ever had a mentor?
Oh yeah, most definitely, man.
Like
Somebody asked me that yesterday.
Did you ever had a mentor, B?
Oh yeah.
But both y'all named B.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
You had one too?
Brandon, yeah.
Yeah, you ever had a mentor?
Never.
Me either.
I add,
So when you say mentor, hold on. When you say mentor, you saying a mentor from like, hey, growing up in the neighborhood, or mentor in your occupation?
Somebody who ever, even in like your career, you have somebody that like mentored you and helps you come up to the next level.
Yeah. So career wise, I had a mentor, right? I got multiple mentors, right? Depending on what level you're trying to get to, because you always want to have a mentor. To me, probably a peer, and then you probably want to have a mentor that's somebody you kind of look up to, or in a position that you want to be at, right? But they got to be open to it, right? It's a two-way communication. It ain't one-sided, right?
Okay,
you don't.
For sure.
Somebody don't come to you. Let me be your mentor.
Yeah.
No, you have to, as an individual, have to seek out someone to mentor you, right?
And somebody who has taken an interest in your your progression, you know.
Exactly. And see if they receptive to it at the end of the day, and see if you a match. It's like it's like dating, right? You gotta find a match for a mentor at the end of the day. You gotta gel.
Yo,
Exactly.
my perspective on mentor is different though, because it's hard for me to even think about finding a person that I look up to that I want them to help me.
Same.
You know what I'm saying? It's really hard for me to do that.
But it's about growth. If you value growth, then that's something you would do, right?
All right, so check though. No, not necessarily. And what I mean is that I do value growth, right? But I value the hard work that I got to put in, because I feel like nobody can take none of that shit away from me. Like if, and I know, like I think I'm self-aware enough to know that I might be tripping when I think like that. You know what I'm saying? To a degree.
You are tripping. I tell you all the time, you're tripping.
Yeah, but even still, it's kind of like I just value the ride so much more that if someone came to me and be like, yo, I got you, dog. This is how you get up here. Like for me, I'd be like, nah, I kind of want to make my own path. Like I want to figure out how to get up there myself.
That ain't a mentor. It's not giving you a path or giving you something. He's giving you more so of knowledge that he's gained. And through his situation, now you can make your own decision at the end of the day.
And in some cases, maybe even access to opportunities because of their knowledge and where they at.
Right. I'm gonna tell you, he's not putting you in a position
it's
to
networking.
Yeah,
it's like a network on a personal level.
I'm gonna tell you what my brain switches though. Like my brain switches because whatever knowledge that you do got, right? Even if you're knowledgeable, even if somebody come to me and be like, yo, how do you do this? Even if I did it before, I'm really cautious on telling them how I did it. And it's not because I don't want you to have the information. I do, but there are a million ways to do the same thing. And another way might work way better than the way that I do it. You dig what I'm saying? So I think about that when the same thing when it comes to mentor. Like even if you got the knowledge to help me get to wherever, I'd be looking at that knowledge and be like, that knowledge probably was 2 months old, 6 years old, 5 months, whatever the distance is. Like it might not be that no more. For me, I gotta go put my feet in there, go feel it myself in order for me to.
But if somebody's giving you something, right, then they're telling you a method that you can apply and make it your own. It's just like when I used to learn how to sell, they would give us a script, right? But the dude would tell me, "Hey, man, look at this script, memorize it, and then make up your own version.
Yeah, for sure.
Just hit the major points and we good."
Word.
You know what I'm saying? The same thing. Somebody giving you their script, they're not telling you got to take all these steps to get to this point, but they're giving you a method that they may have used multiple times that worked. If it ain't broke, you don't have to make something new.
See, but I don't define it as a mentor then, because I feel like a mentor, like you said, like it's somebody that is somewhere that I want to go.
They're up somewhere, and they're telling you what worked to get them there, and probably what they've reproduced multiple times to stay in that position.
I'm scared of that though.
But see, you can't,
because I don't want to be like nobody else.
But this is why you need to.
We don't have to.
Look,
because
but you don't have
for
to.
me, we have the one beautiful thing we have in life is freedom of choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like anybody feeding me anything, I take what I want. I dismiss the rest.
Yeah.
But
like-
me, I'm obsessed with discovery. Like that's what feeds me.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Discovering something new, that shit feeds my soul.
But
so
see, on the other end
you
of
know
that
what I mean?
shit is ego and pride too, because
I agree.
You don't want, but that's part of why the central point why you should go to therapy. Boom, all the way back to the front of that shit. Now, look, the way I think about mentors, right? Because I always want a mentor. I'm not shy away from that shit because I understand the opening of the network and somebody even say you're in the military, right? And you're a high ranking. D told me you up there. You know what I'm saying?
He high as you can go.
So you can speak to other people that have been where you're at for longer, and they open you up to the network. You know what I'm saying? Like even from a standpoint of, oh, hey man, this is my guy. This is my guy Goldie. How you doing? Nice to meet you.
I can tell you, like, because when I first got promoted, man, I'm gonna say this. Who we putting this out to?
Oh, it's gonna be on all platforms. To be real, it's gonna be on Apple, Spotify.
You might have to delete this part.
Okay, yeah.
We gonna look to
My
listen to the final
homeboys,
edit.
they was like, "Hey, you the first real that made it."
Yeah,
that's what they told me. Like young airmen said this to me. They was like, "You the first real that made it, man. We love this shit." I was like, "Okay, cool. I appreciate it." But they said, a bunch of them said that. I was like, "Cool, appreciate it, man." It was kind of weird, but then it was like, man. There's a maturity level there too as well, because I used to be in their shoes at the end of the day.
Nah, they looking at you.
Fucking with these two right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could be a great mentor to a lot of folks out there because I don't seen and did some of the dumb shit, right? Made some of the
But
dumbass
what he's saying
mistakes.
takes me away from like I think the way whatever our individual mindsets look at as a mentor as, obviously you have a different perspective of a mentor than I do.
For sure.
Because for me, it's less about somebody guiding me. You know what I mean? Taking me to the promised land. For me, a mentor is someone that's inspiring. Like, I look at it from the inspirational aspect of things. Like, I see you. I know your life lesson because through constant conversation, you've told me, the rough patches in life, the hardships, the blockades ever present. You told me everything you had to navigate across, and you got to this point. So when you asked prior, you ever had a mentor? My very first mentor was then school teacher William Logan, now Dr. William Logan, principal of his own high school, right? In the very same state that I'm currently living in. And to see where he was and what he overcame and where he's at now, like, it's more about the inspiration than like him guiding me. Yes, he gave me tools to add to the toolbox, told me a lot of things. You know what I mean? Everything to like prep me for what life may bring. Right. But it was less about that and more about like, you never gave up. Like what I pulled from every conversation I had was you never gave up when adversity, brought itself to your face and to the forefront. Right. Found a way to channel around that. Found a way to, dodge this, dive around that. Keep it moving. Yeah. Never staying stagnant. Growth and comfort do not coexist. We all know that, right? So what he taught me above everything is growth is endless. Always pursue that. Right. And so for me, that mentorship is growth. Yeah. What went to the left and right of that was peace, myself, self-love. All these other things grew off the branches of that, but that very foundation was growth. Right. Always chase growth. My poem I wrote, cited at my retirement, chase growth. I'm always in constant pursuit of that. It doesn't stop. It never ends. And if we ever feel like we achieved that, then we're failing ourselves because now you're allowing stagnation to plague you. So always seek that. So like where I go with the mentorship is like I don't look at it from like somebody that's got to point at me and tell me what to do, but more about don't give up on yourself. And so like now my foundational piece, my ideology is embodied with that. Right. You know what I mean?
See, look, I make people my mentors. They don't even know it.
Yeah, exactly. I do the same. Yeah,
I'm gonna just watch the shit you doing.
Yeah, and I'm gonna keep.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm gonna move like you with modifications.
If we have a conversation, I pick your brain about something, and I'm gonna take. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think?
I'm gonna take that. Yo, I don't care who you are. I just come. You know what I'm saying? If you're somewhere that's public, and I just come like people watch.
Yeah, and you said something important too. I think you alluded to this. Hey, they give you a different perspective. on things. Like, hey, just advice. If you're seeking advice and you want just a different perspective, well, have you thought about this? Or have you
a soundboard, man? Bounce your ideas off of, man. You know, we mentor each other in a way, dog. We bounce information off each other all the time, and for the betterment, to give you a better way of thinking about something or readjust.
You're right.
Your perspective.
But people look to me too because they don't understand a lot of the processes that the Air Force have too as well. So I'm able to explain that to them, right? I'm saying, hey, this is how the assignment process works. Hey, this is how the equal plus process works. Hey, this is how the cross training process works.
So all that falls in the mentorship.
They look up to me and they be like, okay, Chief, I was thinking about this. Well, I'm telling you now, hey, it's a timeline associated with this. It's all these other nuances that you probably don't know about.
Be a point of contact and a point of information where somebody can come and they feel comfortable. They can look at him and be like, he know what he's talking about.
Growth, development.
And that advice is beneficial to them.
I think the mentorship for me, the thing that changes it is at the time. Like, so I think you can go to have somebody get information from.
Yeah.
I never define that as a mentor.
You thinking
I think of it
like
different.
in a formal setting. Like that's what you're thinking about. Like a formal, like y'all call each other. We have a meeting every Thursday. And you tell me about your day, and I'm going to tell you how to be better.
I think it's there that I'm there for the ride. I'm like I think I view a mentor as somebody that's there to like help you grow and watch you. And it's the time that you put in with a person.
Yeah, but
I think
it's not really that. That's somebody watching over you. That's a you talking about almost damn like a parent. You know
got your best interest.
Not even
it's
that.
just somebody
that
gotta, it's somebody that hit you up and they be like, yo, man, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? What you got going on? Okay, you stressed out about this? Okay, I've been through that. Talk to me about it. You know what I'm saying? Just somebody who got a personal interest and they may be
consistently though, right?
But that gotta be not so much consistently because the consistency really depends on you. It depends how much you reach. Everybody got a life at this stage. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is touching 40. Yo, nobody is going to always call. I call nigga and just be like, how you living? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But like somebody who may be in a position where you want to get to, like, or at a level of business or at, like, say photography, maybe at a level of photography that you're at and something that you feel like you can gain from them, their experience in any way, they're living their life the same way as you. So if you're not consistently reaching out and building that bridge, it don't, you know what I'm saying? You in the mentorship is you reaching out to this person more than they're reaching out to you, and because you're looking, you appreciate their advice, you trust their advice, and you think that shit is useful to you.
And that's why I say I never had a mentor, because I think with the time, like over time, I think people come to me for information. I just never viewed that as me being
you can mentor a lot. I've mentored a lot.
Like coming to get information from me is kind of like I'm just giving you some information. Do what you will with it.
That leads into my question. I was going to ask you: do you look at yourself as a mentor? Have you ever been a mentor?
I don't like to think of myself as a mentor, no.
But you be trying to mentor.
But as a father, do you see yourself as a mentor?
As a father, do I see myself as a mentor? I don't think so.
I definitely do. You know, because I got.
Absolutely. I don't think so. Like, so
absolutely,
the reason,
absolutely does.
So the reason I say that is because, like, we talked about it earlier.
I think you don't like the word mentor.
Our kids, our kids are going to be who they're going to be, regardless, right? So, to me, mentoring someone, maybe yes. Well, yes. Because then, by my own definition, I just said, it's by the time.
Say it.
Yeah.
But if we remove your own personal definition and take the umbrella of mentorship, absolutely.
Hey, yo, no, listen, hold on.
Bring them in, like, yo, come, you gotta get in the podcast, and we'll offer you our services.
Hey, yo, look, on the side note, right? I watched this joint the other day. That one of the Latter-day Saints dude, he walked up to dude in New York, and he was like, he said, do you want to get closer to the Lord? He said, yo, you want to get closer to Crip? He was like, I don't know about that. He's like, same. He was like, I just want to know if you want to get closer to Jesus. And he was like, I just want to know if you want to get closer to the Crips. Like, do you want to be down? Yeah. And then he was like, I'm just trying to teach you about the Lord. He said, I'm just trying to teach you about Raymond and the Crips.
Yeah.
Do you want to? And the dude was like, have a nice day. He said, you too, my brother. Like,
he realized he ain't no combat to that.
He just asking, do you want to get down too, man? Let's teach each other.
Yeah, all right. Shift the conversation a little bit, yo. And Love can hop on when he come back in. I wanted to ask you first, what does self-love look like?
Shit, I'm still trying to figure that part out. I was actually waiting to get to that point because kind of goes back to the conversation you had about earlier as well, about waking up happy with yourself. Like, one of my biggest things was like my biggest struggle in life, I think, honestly, is self-love, which I'm now navigating towards That's why I left my family and left everybody for 6 months when I went on the deployment so I could do like deep introspection because I never valued myself enough. It was always like external validation. I've always wondered what other people thought about me. I was always I'm a people pleaser, right? Always been trying to do that. But I never valued myself enough. Whatever other people thought of me became what I was. And I had to do everything I could to meet the demands of what the expectations I thought. Not that they had, but the expectations I placed on myself that they had of me.
Right. You think that these people are waiting for you to check these boxes. And they don't even really care. They're cool
at all.
with you just being around.
At all. Yeah. That's it. And that's all. But like, and rather than leave it as simple as it is, we make it far more complex. Yeah. And so I did that. I'm a chronic overthinker. Overthinker. Like my mind is always moving. I hate idle time because in idle time, I'm just in places, man, dark places. The light rarely shows itself, man. I'm in dark places a lot, but like I never took the time to like sit and assess myself because I always absorb other people's problems and I utilize that. I now know more than ever. I utilize other people's problems and seeking out other people that had problems so I could suppress my own and not think about them. Rather than thinking about my own, my shit, my daily dealings, it was like, oh, boom, you got this going on. Let me help you navigate that. Let me be that solver, that helper, render assistance. I'm heavily predicated on rendered assistance, but I never assisted myself. So I'm trying to navigate to that place now where like I can learn to love myself like freely in a genuine manner, not like having to overthink. I shouldn't even have to think about it. It should be a natural thing, right? And so now that I know I have to think about how to take care of myself, how to be better for myself and all that, I already know it's not organic. So my question for myself has been for a long time, how do I get to that point? And that's why conversations like what we're having today is important to me because it helps me to navigate and journey through where I need to get so that end destination looks like me loving myself the proper way and feeling like I'm a person worthy of being loved because that's been my biggest issue is, do I deserve love? Am I a good person or am I not?
Is that a question that you should even ask? Like, is that a real question?
It is a real question.
You shouldn't have to ask it, but
it's a real question when it's been put there. You know what I'm saying? That's like you said, man, they probably come from a lot of shit you went through in your childhood. You know what I'm saying? And growing up. And then those experiences build and build and build, and you never take care of them. And then you end up and you be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I'm so fucked up. How could anybody really even want to, like, how could anybody even find, I don't even like me all the time. How can somebody love me? You know what I'm saying? I don't even like myself every day.
Growing up where like, so I won't say the heaviest of demands, but like heavy demands on me to produce or do, right?
Yeah.
And men commonly like, I don't want to quote Chris Rock, but Chris Rock said it. He said men are only loved on a condition that they provide, right? He said only women, children, and animals are loved, like, definitively.
Fuck around and go flat broke, and then all of a sudden you get an argument with your girl every day.
You disposable as everything.
Yeah,
so
now
like,
all of a sudden you're not useful anymore, or the thing that you like are known for the most is no longer. You know, that's what you were bringing to the table, and then you be feeling like you don't have anything else.
You can't dial it back, not even a half, a quarter inch, or anything like that. You dial it back, oh, it ain't shit. You know what I mean? And even if that's not the reality of it, take it.
That's how you feel that way.
You take it that way.
It's seldom ever like that. You know, especially if you with somebody that loves you, even if you don't love yourself, they don't care if you go flat broke, you know what I'm saying? They have a belief in you that you're going to be able to do better, and they know that, you know what I'm saying, these are only...
As long as that lacking is not a consistent action, because like we all know,
as again, not turn into being complacent about...
Not to go into the sexist thing, but women, look at that consistency is important to them, right?
They stop respecting you and shit. Now you don't have stability.
Sometimes I dialed it back because... Probably for the wrong reason, but dialing it back to be like, yo, I'm bringing all this to the table and I'm not seeing appreciation for what I do, what I give, what I provide. So let me dial it back to show you what's absent when I don't do that. But then in turn, that doesn't work out either. So then you put it back on the table, you still don't feel appreciation. I think that's become one of the most important things to me is like, where's the appreciation? Where's the reciprocity? Because sometimes I don't feel that. I don't see it. It might be there, but I don't see it and I don't feel it. And for me, I'm still trying to like, understand and figure out like where's our supreme placement, like where's the middle ground, like is it supposed to be 100 100? Because some people say 50 59 and some people say 100 100. If my 100 don't look like your 100, are we really matching? Because sometimes I feel like I'm overgiving and undertaking. Sometimes I don't think that I'm getting what I should be in return for what I'm giving.
I hear the overthinking. And I hear the overanalyze. I feel you, but I feel you, but I think a lot of times like to like self-love got to be defined by what it is that makes you happy, right? And one thing, so when I went to therapy, one thing that he used to ask me is like, so I'm talking about, at the time, I'm super entrepreneurial. I'm trying to build something, right? I'm trying to build. I'm reading all the books. I'm doing all this research, and that's all I'm talking about. And I'm talking about, I got to get this bread. And he like, well, what number is enough to make you happy? And I was like, nigga, ain't one. Yeah, at the end of the day, when I really thought about it, I was like, yo, it's not a number. Yeah. I don't have a number in my head where I'm going to be like, oh, I'm at the goal. And he was like, well, how do you ever reach a goal if you don't have something in place to reach for? You just reaching to get to a point that is really it's non-existent. Mm-hmm. It don't even exist yet because you can't verbalize what makes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what's the end?
But I agree.
If you're trying to get there, where is there?
I don't think there's an absolute state of contentment. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if you married yourself to a number or whatever it may be, if I said, for the sake of anything, 10, I want to get to 10. You know what I mean? 10 turns into something more.
Yeah.
You never really supremely achieve a state of contentment. You're always going to want something better or more because that becomes boring. It becomes old. It becomes stagnant.
Right.
It'll never be enough.
Oh, yeah, no, man. Yeah, listen, when you get enough money that you can buy everything that you want and you don't have no bills, you have recurring bills and you don't have any debt. Yeah. Like, during the pandemic, that was probably the best time for me business-wise. Like my credit score, I'm still close to the 8s, but I was in the 8s. It's like 825. My credit utilization was like 1%. You know what I'm saying? And I had a house that I bought as a rental property and some more shit. Had an Airbnb and pay for all that shit like this. I got a bunch of business credit cards, all the business credit and lines of credit. Yeah. And I found myself so bored and like discontent because I can buy anything I want right now. Mm-hmm. I can spin this globe right now and close my eyes and point to somewhere. And me and my girl, we can go right now. We can pack the shit. We can pay for however much that ticket is, and we can go there right now. And it just was like, but it was more so boring because I didn't have an end game. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I didn't have anything that I was pushing to build. I was even, I was skinny as shit during the pandemic.
Word.
I was working out every day. I'm talking about, man, listen, I wake up in the morning, do like 100 push-ups, go downstairs, start working, do like 150 push-ups, go to the gym. I'm calisthenics. I'm doing pull-ups and shit. Before the pandemic, the most pull-ups I ever did in my life was 1 at a time. I'm talking about 1 a day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's always the bodyguard. That's what, you know what I'm saying?
I was doing, I was doing, I could almost do like the verticals, when you hold on the bar and your body this way. Listen, best shape of my life, nigga. I'm all that shit. And I was just in the house, unhappy as a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't have a goal. It's like the never-ending pursuit, it causes the anxiety.
Yep.
So self-love, I think for me,
I personally think because we're pursuing the wrong things, man. Yeah, like it has to be what's intrinsically satisfying for us. And like I think we chasing the wrong things. Like we chasing numbers, we chasing dollars, we chasing everything. But
I'm on that side too.
We chasing everything except what's intrinsically gratifying for us.
See, I like to think I do that. I like to think that I chase what like, because me and him have arguments all the time. When we had the arguments about money and what money is and having assets and shit to pass along. And I'm never, like, to me, that should be making my brain break because I'm like, I don't give a fuck about none of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care about having a property. I care about the lessons that my daughter pulled from me, the things that I can show her, and how I spend my fucking time. Those are the things I really fucking care about.
But see, so, I wrap those two up together as I can, if I can show you that I can get this property and I can build this, that we can have, you're going to see the whole process on the way up. So when I'm going, not only will you have assets that you can lean on, which will allow you to open up, you may not want to go to college. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The average person, if you don't go to college, you go and you get, or you don't go to the military, you go and you get a shitty job. They're working for a low amount of money, right? Mm-hmm. But if you can come into something that is a business and I can show you how to work it, you don't even have to run this business. Mm-hmm. But if you can understand like how money works, you understand that it's a tool and you understand that your whole life has been stable because of the work that I put in. And those are the lessons that you teach. It ain't about the money. That stability is going to open up. If she want to go to college, then if she want to go fucking
You right.
jog across Europe, my nigga.
Word.
She can go and she got the resources to do it
Word.
and see the world. You see, let me the last thing. So white people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not to make it racial, but a lot of these people, y'all all been to Europe, right?
Yeah.
You be seeing these people, they're backpacking through Europe. They take a year off of school. They go see the world. They go see the place that they, outside of the city they live, that there are different things on this planet to see.
Yes.
They come back with a different view of the world and
For
how
sure.
things work. And then they go to school. And now they're more productive when they go because they have a
Yes.
goal. Other than where we are in our community, we leave our community. We either go straight to college or we go straight to the military. If you go straight to college, college is lying to you your whole way through. They're going to give you housing. They give you meals. Nigga, you can just come in your room and turn the lights on 24 hours a day if you want to. Ain't no light bill coming. You know, and you get out of college. You owe these niggas a whole bunch of money. Then you go get a job, an entry-level job somewhere, and then you go home and you flick your fucking lights on all day and you get your electric bill and that shit $400 and your check was $1,200 and then after taxes it was $9 and now you only got $800 left for your paycheck and you still got to pay everything. And then you realize that, damn,
And you got a roommate.
right, I got a telecommunications degree and that shit don't work nowhere out here.
I get that.
You know what I'm saying?
I guess, you know what I mean, like we mentioned earlier, though, what our kids pull from us, right? Like, you know, a lot of our actions are inspired by the things that we lacked.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so what I know is that if, you know, while everything you said could absolutely turn out that way, but we also know that our kids usually don't go the way that we want to go. They, you know what I mean, they need to forge their own path. So you doing this and having this idea of what, like, hey man, she just learned this and grasped this business. Like majority of the time as kids, we usually want to do the opposite thing or something different than our parents. You know, there are changes and anomalies in, of course, in every case, but a lot. So I think about that. So when you say like, oh, she can have these things and have these tools, like most likely she's going to like walk the opposite way of that because that's what you've developed over these years and talked, and she's seen you grow through it. She'd be like, you know what? I don't want to go through that. I've experienced it secondhand already.
But
I
would
there.
say not necessarily because I think it's two sides to that. Like from what I got, what he was saying was you don't want your kid to start on zero.
For sure.
Like we did. I think a lot of us, if
Or
you
below
grew up
zero.
where I came from, you kind of started on zero, right? Because you didn't have a foot in the door. You didn't have those opportunities. You didn't have that financial backing. You didn't have any advantages to get you where you needed to go. With me, my friend was taking a ride down to college. I hopped in the car with him and signed myself up for college. Like I was just happen to tag along with him, you know, kind of to do my own thing. But I want to be able to take that ride with my daughter to a college and show her different things and show her HBCU or
Show
a
her
big
the
university
experiences you
or
had.
D1 school and a community college and all the different stuff, right? And she could pick wherever she want to go, but I don't want her to start on zero like I did.
Right. Hold on. To add to that, right? It's not just about if I show her the business. I'm showing her, right, that what the tools are. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You don't have to do the business that I do, but I'm showing you what the tools are.
For sure.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Nobody taught me how to use money. Nobody taught me how to use credit. So when I got a credit card, the very first thing I did when I got a credit card is I fucked my credit up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if I'm putting that financial literacy in your mind, it don't matter what you do. You can go the complete opposite direction of everything that I built. But guess what? When you do it, you have tools, you have assets, you have things that'll help you and assist you to get through whatever you want to do.
So I feel exactly the same, but I put mental shit way in front of money. Way before anything financial or anything material, though.
But you perceive it as one or the other. But it can be both.
No,
while you're
so,
teaching it, you're teaching a mentality.
No, this is what I'm
you're teaching
saying.
a mind state.
This is what I'm saying is that at any moment, right? If I teach my daughter that, or she grasps from me that it don't matter if you're at zero, right? If you have all the tools to understand what moving forward is, period. I don't give a fuck if it's money, relationships. It don't. All that shit is like way over there. All that shit is like the money aspect, the things you own, the relationship. All that shit is gonna happen to you. Life gonna do what the fuck it do. Money gonna come, money gonna go. You gonna get good opportunities, bad opportunities. People gonna fuck you. All that shit's gonna happen to you, and I have no control over that shit. You don't either. So my whole shit is before you even get there, before you even get to being able to make money or stack money or learn this financial literacy, I need you to be equipped with the tools to understand, to make a decision to better yourself. Period. Full stop.
Part of those are
know what I
the
mean?
same thing, though.
But
Learn
it's just
financial.
different.
No.
I put them in different boxes.
I know that's what I'm saying, but they're the same. So financial literacy. What does that mean to you? Give me an idea, like what you think that term means to you.
Understanding money.
Mhm.
Period.
No. So financial literacy is understanding how the world works and how, like, when you say understand money, it's not just understanding money. It's not understanding that you go to work, you get a paycheck, and now you got money. It's understanding that you go to work, you get that first paycheck, you still don't have no money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's understanding that if I want to purchase something in this life, if I want to go buy a home, if I want to buy my first car, I need to understand, I can't take all the money out of my account and go buy a car and then be at zero.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That is part of maturity. Financial literacy teaches maturity. I didn't know. I'll give you a perfect example. Remember we went, Goldie, I think he was there. When we went to Atlanta and we accidentally went to Savannah because Corey told us to come to Sylvester.
Did you go? Was you there that time?
I heard about that story.
Yeah. I don't think you was there that time. Yeah,
we hop in the car and we take this long ass trip down there and we go to the wrong place. But so I didn't have financial literacy. I had just got a paycheck at that time. What was it, like early 20s? I just got a paycheck and I had got my little bonus paycheck, right? Mm-hmm. So this shit was like, I want to say that shit might have been like $900.
Clothes,
I was like,
drink.
Let's go.
Good time, right?
Where'd I go? Yeah. I didn't care about nothing I had to take care of. I didn't think about saving. I didn't think about how to use money. I didn't think about what that can do for me in the future. All of that shit is part of financial literacy. And teaching, the earlier you can teach a kid that, these white kids and these other races, hold on, hear me out.
I feel you.
They learn about this shit so early. These kids go to therapy when they're 4 and 5 years old. They are already mature. And the shit that you talking about teaching, they already know, and they already have the. I'm talking about the people who are able to be able to move forward, and
so even before that,
all that shit matters.
I feel decision making is what it is. I think financial literacy is like way down on the totem pole when we talking about this. And what I mean is that if you're equipped with good decision making skills, period. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what it is. If you got the $900. And you can go somewhere, you got the opportunity in front of you. I need you, it don't matter how much money you go spend down there. I need you to be able to have a foresight to make a smart decision for yourself.
How would you have that if you never taught it?
It's all about a choice, though.
But that's what I'm saying. How would you have that if you never had the option to have those choices?
Foresight,
you have to make them in the moment.
It's pure foresight. Because the amount of money doesn't matter. You can have $200 and you can take $50 and stretch that shit out if you choose to and save the other. Or you can go blow the whole $200. If you don't
know how money works,
it don't matter.
You can't ever make that decision. You
have to be able to make the right choice, period.
That's what I'm talking about. See, this is what I'm talking about. That is part of a life lesson that you're giving to somebody, especially when you're giving it to your kid. And you're looking at, I tell you this all the time, you look at money the wrong way. You look at money as this like evil source of like, we're too consumed about it. But nigga, the world works like that. If you don't, if I send my kid outside and she don't have no money and she go into this world, then she is susceptible to all the things that people that have money can do to her.
But money,
you know what I'm saying?
But money does.
And if she doesn't,
at
if
the
she's
same
not
sentence
with
though,
those choices, then she will never be. She's not gonna have good
But
decision making.
I think
when
you
it
both
comes to
saying
money.
one and the same. You're equipping your child with enough knowledge to make the right decisions in life. No matter if it's money, no matter if it's relationships, no matter in whatever they want to do in life, you equipping them with enough knowledge. Therefore, they are not starting on zero. They have gained the knowledge of you. No matter if it's financial literacy, no matter if it's just, making a great decision on your lifestyle and what you want to do and what's good for you.
Right.
Living, your mental health state, making those.
Right.
I get what you totally saying, right?
So, the totem pole, when
I'm just saying those are the same things.
Choices, relationship, all that shit, money. You get to the bottom round when you're talking about money.
I'm saying the same things, but you hear money and you thinking that that's like
it's a tier.
Well, I think we dialed in on the money aspect of things. So I want to bring it back like a couple 1, 2, 8 steps because I fully agree as far as like pouring into like the mental sharpness, right? That's vitally important, probably the most important thing, right? We honed in on the financial literacy piece of it. But how can I, right? When we talk about blind leading the blind, if I'm a broke motherfucker or I'm somebody that's struggling my damn self, how do I tell a motherfucker to not be broke when I'm broke my damn self? Like, how much information can I pour into them? We do learn. So now I have to pour into them. I have to seek the knowledge or be able to put my kids in a proximity of someone or some institution or some place that can give them the tools that I can't properly give them, but I give them what I can.
But that's part of the pouring into it. So when I say when I talk about the literacy part, I'm only meaning like I want you to understand. It's the same thing to me because I want you to understand how the world works.
Yeah.
I want you to understand how this.
But then we take it back from financial literacy.
I'm saying like this dollar don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know if you don't have a plan and you don't put something forth in your life, you don't have goals. If you don't want to, you know what I mean? If you don't ever want to. I think it teaches responsibility because I just want you to be responsible.
So I think that's where I was going with that. So I think we take away the financial. We kept dialing in on. That's what I was saying. We kept dialing in on financial literacy. What you're teaching is responsibility, right?
Facts.
How to make decisions based off situations at hand.
Right.
Not
How to make logical,
financial, not
financial,
relational, not anything like that.
Logical,
situational based.
Right.
This is how you make the best decision with what you're presenting.
Right. Yes.
Any decision to be made has to be the best decision. Whether it's 51-49 split, the best decision you got is 51%. You have to take that and make a next decision based off of that, based off what your best decision is.
Right.
So that's what I was saying. Like I think we need to dial it back from financial literacy more into like when you make decisions, you gotta decide based off of what are the facts, what's presented, how do I overcome.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I've been talking to my daughter about that. She just got a job. She's working at Uno's for her first little gig, right? But the thing, as soon as she get her money, is like she want to get her hair done, she want to get her nails done, but she has a bigger goal to go to college. And hey, we can support you going to college, but you're gonna need some of that extra money to go there.
Right.
And then that's where that financial literacy come into place. Hey, you trying to buy something that's gonna support you momentarily. Yeah. At this moment, like, and it's gonna be that instant gratification because hey, I got a check, I got my nails done, I got my hair done, I'm looking good. I can post some pictures on Instagram,
and that shit's short lived.
And it's short lived, right? But at the end of the day, what we're not teaching our kids is that financial literacy on down the road. I know I had kids, some kids I grew up with, man, they were saving money to buy electric bikes and saving money to buy cars in high school. And these are white kids that was doing
that translate in the rest of their life too. So they go look. So when I say it from that point, not to do the finances, but that helps them in decision making in other places in their life because they had to. When you learn, I like using financial literacy because you learn sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Like in that instance, you telling her, all right, you want that car and or you want to go to college or you might want to buy something for yourself. You have to think logically about, is this the right decision to make right now in the moment? Yeah, this is going to make me feel good right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about the money. It's more so about, I'm making a logical decision now.
The situation that's presented to you.
Yeah, and you're learning how to make decisions, right? Even if you're just using money, you're learning how to make decisions for life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that where we always get caught up is because I really think that finances is a big part of life in the way that you learn how to navigate through this world. You know what I'm saying? Because when you learn how to sacrifice, if I want to buy a bicycle when I'm younger, like you say, we want to buy an electric bike, so I save up all my money, I'm learning that the product of my hard work to save this money and the discipline that I have taught myself by saving this money and not going to buy candy or not going out with my friends to get pizza or not, wasting it on something frivolous, that shit's going to carry with me throughout my life. Mm-hmm. So now when I get to a point where other people who may not have had financial literacy information available to them growing up, when I'm going out and they're going out and they want to go, we get our first decent sized check. You want to go get a necklace or some dumb shit. Or you want to go get, you got a little piece of shit car, you want to put some rims on it. Now I'm looking at you like, yo, that's a bad decision in life.
Here's why I say we should extract the financial aspect of it and just insert life, right?
Right.
Because, I mean, if you chopped it up into like a couple, 4 or 5 words, situation, action, outcome, ramifications, right? It's applicable to every facet of life. So rather than dial in on the financial aspect of it, we basically trying to instill in our kids the ideologies of like, when you are faced with this, the decisions you make have an action or outcome, and that outcome may or may not come with ramifications. You got to live with that or you don't have to based off the decision you made.
You'll never be able to
so
control
learn how to, your decision making has to be what's key.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to say this, then we're going to try to switch the conversation just a little bit. When I was in South Carolina one time, right, we had stumbled into this little glass making shop, and I got video footage of this. And there's this really old white dude in there, right? And in Charleston, this guy like a lot of racist roots and slavery roots and shit like that. And there was a picture on the wall with this old black guy, old woman. And you know what I mean? He was like, we started talking about it, and the picture's on the wall. And he was like, they was probably born slaves, you know what I'm saying? And was going through the whole motion. This white old guy his opinion about what plagued us is something that you mentioned earlier. It's instant gratification. And he was just talking like, the thing that plagues the black community, and from his perspective, is our fascination with instant gratification. Mm-hmm. And that was full stop. Now he's like, I think that if, the black culture can get a hold on that instant gratification thing, I think it would help y'all race. Yeah. Like, but change drastically.
Like you stayed with the rims and all that.
Yo, listen, it's a discipline. It's a disciplined mindset that nobody teaches. You know what I'm saying? And whether you're teaching it through finances, whether you're teaching it through just talking to your kids about having a strong mental and having confidence in themselves or decision making, or any way you want to teach it, it's about teaching a discipline. And everybody has a different avenue of teaching it. You know what I mean?
I think you can teach it all day too as well, but sometimes they just gonna have to learn for themselves.
Yeah, it would help them apply it. Not even when I say teach, because I don't really like teach, because teaching to me, when I hear teaching, I hear somebody talking at you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right. And so, like, with my girl, she has older children. They're 19 and 24 now. They have a father. You know what I'm saying? But my job being there and helping raising them is helping with guidance. You know what I'm saying? Be that person when both sides are yelling at them. They need somebody to talk to. Yeah. Somebody rational. Somebody voice of reason. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been in the street. I've been. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a career. I can talk to you about both and what you're looking for, and I can give you advice. And it's not for me to change your idea, but it's to me to listen to you and then give you feedback based on what you're telling me, and something that you may be able to use or not. Giving you advice based on the life that I live. We're not gonna live the life the same way, but you still I can give you advice about, like you said, situations, outcome, consequences, ramifications, and how you can't control that. And once when A does B, C and D happen. You know what I'm saying? Right. And you have to, and how to navigate that, and talk about, because I've been so broke as an adult. I was coming out of a parking garage, and that shit was 10 cents to get out. I ain't even had that shit in my car. Yeah. I couldn't even find that shit in my seat cushion. You know what I'm saying? And they had $15 in my checking account. And I had to call my mom, and it was $20 to take your money out and a $4 fee. And I can't get no bread out. You know what I'm saying? I'm stuck in the parking garage. It's 10, 15 cents to get out of.
So, all right. So, look, you know what I'm saying? So, check. Just to move the conversation, kind of on the same subject with kids and shit, but a little more recent. What do you think about the shit that happened in Chicago? Like, don't say nothing yet. You know what I'm saying?
I got a different opinion now, too.
Okay. It switched? Okay. All right. So, the shit that happened in Chicago, and the mom and the son. Like,
so I don't know all the details. I can't speak on it really. From what I understand, from what happened, if you guys could just clear it up for me, is that the mom was in a restaurant with her son.
Okay. Yeah. Let's tell you the story.
So tell me the story. I seen the clips. Okay. I seen it like on social media, but so I really didn't dig into the details.
Basically, they don't know each other, right? They're in there. They get into an argument. The son is standing at the door, right? She tell him, go to the car and get the gun. Now, I came to find out she's a licensed, she's a registered holder, right? So she was telling him to get the gun for her. And when he heard that, he said, go get the what? And she was telling him to go to the car. And then that's when they had the exchange. I don't know what they were arguing about, but if you watch the video, the thumping sound that it made when he punched Shorty, I would have killed that nigga too. But so the problem was that he shot him, hit him in the back. Dude ran out, he chased him and shot him again, hit him in the head. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't blame. So me personally.
So he ran behind him.
Yeah, because the dude, when he shot, because you can see the video, before the video cut off, he hit her twice, and then they show the video of the little boy, he 14, he reaching in his hoodie pocket to try to get the gun out, and he finally get it out, and he hit him in the back. And then dude haul ass out the joint, he run down the way, and then he shoot. They don't show him shooting him in the head, but he gets shot and he hit him in the head.
I didn't know that piece that he ran behind.
Yeah, that was the part. But I mean, I would have did it too. You know what I'm saying? This nigga's assaulting my mother. I don't know if he's about to go get a gun. I just shot him. He clearly, you know what I'm saying? Like, he hit Shorty hard. That thump is like, you heard that like that. You know what I'm saying? Twice, and she only got her hands up. If you see the video, she got her hands down. So I understand why he would shoot him. You know what I'm saying? I feel like either way, the young boy is going to be fucked up for life, right? Because first of all, he's 14 years old. He caught a body. He live in Chicago. If he live in the inner cities of Chicago, that shit is going to travel around. And whether you want him to be or not, people are going to look at him like a shooter. You know what I'm saying? That shit, that hood fame can take you one or two ways. Now, also, that man that got killed got family. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if they want to come and if they know who your family is, or your cousins, or they know who Shorty is, and they come shoot her, or they come ride around that kid, that kid's life is forever affected by that action. And at the bare minimum, the least of the problem, he killed somebody.
Yeah,
he took a life.
Yeah, I think he was too young to probably understand at that time. Like, hey,
you think 14 is too young?
Well, he didn't. He probably didn't know that. Hey, the repercussions are gonna be what they are.
Right.
His brain ain't that fully developed.
No, I mean,
right,
I'm talking about
like,
but he know that.
If I pull a trigger, like, hey,
yeah.
Right is wrong, right? Yeah, yes is no, yeah, all of that stuff, right?
Think about that in the moment.
Yeah, but not at the moment. Not at 14 years old. You like, hey, my mom, okay, said go do this. Okay, I'm going to get it now.
Right.
I guess he was bringing it back to her, but he decided to use
she was
it.
getting out. He dude started thumping old girl before he could give her. Yeah, he was at. So he's like at that door right there. They right here in the corner. You know what I'm saying? He that far away from her. So she telling him to go get it and come back in there.
Who to say I wouldn't did the same thing?
Oh, no, I know I would have did it, man.
All right,
Hey, yo,
so
listen,
check.
you curse
All
at my mama
so,
wrong,
so,
man.
so,
Like,
here's the thing. The question I got, right? You as a mature adult, right? In a situation like that, right? You as the adult, to protect your child, what's the best choice for you to do?
walk away.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell my child to go grab anything out.
All right,
Yeah.
so
At the end of the day.
that I want to have that conversation.
Okay, gotcha.
So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So does any, you know what I mean, as a parent, right? And you got a 14-year-old kid, would you put him in that danger?
Hell no, because I don't know if this dude got a gun.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you don't know if he got a gun or if he's in the store with anybody that do got a gun.
Or why not go get the
clearly
gun
he's
yourself?
ready to hit women.
Or why not go get the gun yourself?
Why would you go get a gun?
Yeah.
If you're diffusing it.
If you're fear for your life.
She wasn't feared. If you look at her, she wasn't scared at all.
Well, you saying she could have walked.
Internally, you can't really.
Oh, yeah. No, right.
But when she said that, you saying that she probably could have walked away herself, went
Yes.
to the car, and then came back, finished getting her
With
whatever
the
she was
gun.
purchasing.
Remove her kid. Yep.
Hey, son, stay in the car. I'm
Yep.
gonna go get my food. Hang
And
tight.
She
and
would
then-
have went to prison. That's premeditated murder. You walked in, got your gun, and came back in.
No, okay.
That's-
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
just
you
to
shot-
protect
and then
yourself.
You end up shooting that
No,
man.
no,
just protect yourself.
Yeah, but no, but I'm
but they
saying-
would have looked at it like
I don't
yeah.
think that's premeditated murder, and this is why.
Dog.
Because if she was in there and then the dude started threatening her, right? And
And then the hit come.
no. If
punch,
she felt
right?
if she felt threatened, right? She like, man, I don't know what this dude about to do. I need to protect myself, and I'm not going in here to kill him. I'm going in here because I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like he might do something to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish my transaction because I'm at the store. I'm here to get food for my family, whatever I'm here for. I'm gonna finish the transaction, but in the meantime, while I have to be here to get food, I'm gonna protect myself. That's not premeditated murder.
This is what the police told me in Newport News.
Mm-hmm.
If I go and get a gun, because I think somebody is like this, we talking about my property when dudes squatting my property. Say if I go get my gun, walk into my property, and they are actively trespassing, right? And I went and got my gun. After I shoot him, I'm getting arrested.
What's the difference if you just?
It's a premeditation, yo. If
But-
because look, because
Is it-
you know,
that's
hey,
crazy.
hold on. This is what he told me. This is what he told me.
Nah.
Because the question they're gonna ask you is, did you try to remove yourself from the situation, or did you put yourself in the situation? So when you go get that gun and you walk back after the conflict,
Yeah.
you are going back to put yourself back into the dangerous situation.
Yeah,
So when you go to court, they're gonna say,
Yes.
okay, so when
But
you
you
walk
walked
to your
out.
car,
Yeah, you walked
why
back
didn't
out.
you leave?
But what if you showed up and you carry a gun and you walked in there?
But that's
and somebody
different.
squatting in your
That's-
shit. They trust.
Oh no, still because there's no
conflict.
he said there's no they call it like a castle law, like my castle, like in my home in Virginia, in the state of Virginia. If somebody's in your house, I still have to call the police. If I walk in there and I got my gun on me,
Okay,
and
yeah.
that person is trespassing in my house, and I fit,
Now, if
I would
they-
have to. He would have to threaten me,
or attack you or something like that.
in order for me to be able to walk away from that.
You got to like display that you was in fear for your life.
Yeah.
In some sort of way. But I think that if you in that moment, like
If I'm in
again,
fear for my life, and I go get a gun,
Me?
and then I let him put me back in fear of my life, and I shoot him, I'm going to jail.
yeah. So I think that she should have removed herself from the situation
Completely.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel that I can't judge her as a person overall.
No.
I think that in that moment though, she made a fucked up decision. You know what I'm saying?
Very
And
bad.
I don't think I could ever look at my kids, and I think you feel the same way, and say, hey, go to the car and grab this for
That's
me.
a tough ask.
Yeah, that's a tough ask.
That's a tough ask of a
That's
kid.
what I was saying at first, because you changing that kid life forever now. Because you done put the power in this man's hand to take a life, and then he actually takes a life. So no matter what happened to her, she's old enough, she may be able to process it and
live
look
with
at
that.
it a certain way. That shit is going to follow that nigga, man. You don't know if he having nightmares about shooting that man in the head. That shit all over the news.
Oh yeah, it's totally going.
So
He
even
walking
with
out in
that
the neighborhood, he got to go back to school in a couple
even with
months.
that,
You know what I'm saying?
even with that being wrong though, so what's the punishment for the woman? Do you think jail is a justified punishment for that?
No,
action?
she got off. She got off scot
No,
free.
I know she did, but I'm saying,
Yeah.
do you feel like that there should have been some kind of repercussion for her putting her kid in that danger?
Man, I don't like bringing the government into the household, so I'm like on the line on that. But I feel like it got to be some type of evaluation. The kid gonna need some help.
Yes,
He's gonna need some help eventually, and you don't know how you're gonna internalize that, man. You think you got a body, because first thing I think of is I know somebody, I know people, you know what I mean, who have been through those situations, and some people it'll haunt them. Some people are like, oh yeah, I can do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you don't know what type of boy he is. And if it's that, and he like, oh, that was the, you know what I'm saying? I
You
did
done woke
it,
Jeffrey
and-
Dahmer up.
Yeah, it don't feel like how I thought it would feel.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Because what if he's just okay? Now he's fine. Now he's fine killing.
But
But the next time he see a conflict and somebody put some hands up, he gonna be like, shit, if I got a gun, I can just pop you.
But I think that's only him feeling okay. I don't think he is okay. I don't think you can take a body, take someone's life and be okay.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I'm saying, like, I'm talking about if he feels like, oh, all right, I'm okay now. You know, like how we
Yeah,
talk
if he-
about
yeah,
men
if he just
pushing
pull
things
that, yeah.
down. If he
Well,
be
the
like,
mom
yo,
shouldn't feel okay either, right? She the
Oh, she
one
should
that
be fucked up
yeah, she
about
should
it,
be
yeah.
fucked up
Yeah,
about it.
she
You
should
put your
be, but,
son
you
in
know.
that situation to have him actually murder somebody,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
on
On
video,
your behalf.
and it went across the whole country seeing this shit, right? At the
Yeah.
end of the day, like everybody's watching it, everybody looking at this clip of this video, trying to analyze it. Everybody got something to say. Even to the point where they like, damn, we about to go to jail.
Yeah.
Like they
get
in
arrested.
jail. They was in arrested.
Yeah.
They under that stress, and
And then
I
you
put
got
all
to go
this on
back
my
to
son.
your apartment building in the hood. Like, what the fuck? Huh? Like, you go,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You live in the
yeah,
hood.
yeah,
You got to go
yeah.
back to your apartment building, and you got to walk past people every day looking at you crazy, or people might have liked this nigga or something like that. You know what I mean? And you got to look at these people every day, and they're looking at you a certain way. And now fame
Yeah, you
is
gotta
the new
move.
currency, man.
You gotta live with that.
You got to move.
You got to move.
You gotta move.
Or you could be hood
should
famous,
move.
and everybody
It's
come out and
national.
congratulate.
Because
It's
if they-
nationally televised at this point, though. Even
Yeah, exactly. So they faces are
Where you
out
gonna
there.
go?
So
Yeah.
but you got to move from Chicago
You gotta
because
move ASAP.
that dude probably got some associations and some family out there who probably feel like, hey, that situation should have went down like that.
But look.
I feel like I need to do something about it. At the end of the day, hey, they got off.
Hurt,
Oh, that's
man.
bullshit.
Grief
right?
show up in different ways.
What
for
if
people.
what if you can't move?
Yeah,
Then
that
what?
part. Yeah.
Now
financial aspects of it.
Oh, they can move.
But
They
look.
got celebrities that already done reached out to them and paid
Oh,
for
yeah,
her
yeah.
son's
Oh,
college and all
Hey,
kinds
yeah,
of shit.
remember, I remember me and him talked about it the other day. Like that's one thing we mentioned on the phone is that I was like, yo, I hope that this moment going viral gets him enough attention to get the mental health he needs. You know what I'm saying? Mental health that he needs to make it through this shit.
I don't think in this case, I don't think the money gonna do this. It's not gonna fix that.
I don't think it's money. I
she
think it's
also,
just help.
Well, she's also suing the police department for arresting them.
Yeah,
So she also has a suit. So if she wins a suit,
Well,
and
how
it's in a
can you
public
sue them?
outlet.
That's bullshit.
But again, like you
because
stated, man,
under
money doesn't
investigation,
fix
like
that.
they had enough to charge you.
I said, like you stated, money
I
doesn't
think
fix that.
because
money don't fix that.
they were
Nah.
trying to charge her son as an adult for the murder. That's what it was. They were trying to charge him as an adult for the murder, and however they ended up getting off, however that shit worked out
That
for
shit
him
ain't
under
gonna
the
work
law.
out for him.
Public outcry, man. I think that's the only reason why I went that
Public
way.
outcry, definitely, because they would have hid that little boy somewhere in the
Yep.
jail, man.
Yep,
But
they
see,
would've
but with
threw him in
that,
the jail.
the public outcry is also now they got people donating money.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a good ass lawyer, so you ain't got to win the case to get a settlement. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, real
so it's
talk.
just money on top of the trauma now, and now. You might be able to move somewhere. You're going to be able to get nice clothes, nice shoes, nice car, your college paid for.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But nobody ever going, that's just to not address the fact that you murdered somebody.
I think I'm optimistic to
he
say
definitely
that
needed-
it
hopefully he
being
get
national
counseling, right?
will
Yeah.
get that counseling. I think people if people are going to outpour money to this man, I think their outpour of help will happen. I'm optimistic at least to say
If
that.
anything, the prosecutor decided to drop the charges. From what I understand, they should have probably went to trial or made some type of agreement where, hey, we understand this happened, and the court system probably don't even do this to this day. Hey, something happens that's traumatic. Understand? Hey, okay, we're not going to proceed with charges, but then and that's it. But they never kind of bridge that gap. Okay, maybe we need to make sure or direct this member to probably go seek some therapy,
court order therapy,
or something like that. You know, but that I'm pretty sure that was never discussed, right? Or even got him help. Now, I would hope that the state or the city probably said, hey, we probably need to get this individual some help. We probably need to check up on him or have constant city visits with this member on a monthly basis, a weekly basis, however, you know. But I think definitely if he ain't talking to nobody and the mom is not talking to nobody and they not going to therapy trying to get over this, then it's wrong.
To add to that conversation, right? This is what I said to him. In order for that boy to get help, his mom has to agree because he's a minor. They can't make her offer him help, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say that she is a old school, like how we talking about, and she's saying, "Oh, well, we handle that shit. We don't need no counseling. And never get this boy help." Mm-hmm. That outcry, this is what we was arguing about this shit. The outcry, it don't matter. It's up to her. And if she has it in her to ask this young man to go get a gun out the car, and then he ends up committing a murder on her behalf, I'm not of the optimistic side that she's open to getting him help in therapy.
Especially if it'll uncover anything about his upbringing.
You don't know what they do. I said the same thing.
But listen, hold on.
How she raised him.
You don't know what.
But listen, this is what I'm saying though. Even when we make that opinion, we're saying that based on not knowing nothing about these people.
Yeah, she could be raised in the next Cain.
That's what I'm saying. We could, or she could be raised in the next smartest scientist in the world.
Right.
We have nothing to go off.
We can only go off of the conversation that she had arguing with this man.
And that fight or flight moment caused her to make a rational decision.
And that's my thing. Like, I don't think that we should judge and say, hey, I don't think she could be able to make the right decision based off of a real minuscule one-time moment.
Yeah.
Well, so I don't think we should.
Because I made some bad decisions in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if it would have went all the way left, did that make me a bad person, or did I make a bad decision in the moment? You know what I'm saying? And so I think about that, like, I got to be real careful when I see somebody do something. Even if you did something was fucked up, like, you fucked up right there. I still can't put that on your character. Yeah, unless it's a lot more. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of moments that present themselves to us where we get out of character. We all know that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I agree.
I can only hope that she know that, hey, you know, I fucked up, right? At the end of the day. And hopefully she knows how that's impacting her son, and she could probably see any changes with him. And if they need help, then go get help. They should be actually talking to somebody. If they was to hear this today, even if they made it that far, I hope they are actually talking to somebody.
I definitely hope. I don't be optimistic because the way I looked at it, so I don't know them to know either way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I say, okay, I see an example of extremely poor decision making, and this shit is an extreme example. You know what I'm saying? Of bad decision making. Bad decision making doesn't cover, you know what I'm saying, getting your kid to kill somebody for you. I ain't even talking about the act of killing somebody. I'm talking about getting your child, getting your, you know what I'm saying?
To go grab a deadly
young
weapon.
Teenager to go get a gun in the first place. Now, I don't know. They might practice gun safety at the house.
I think we're looking at it
all
from...
type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
We're looking at it from the aspect of the asking. And
that's the part. That's the only part.
And it's... That depends on where your morals at, right?
Yeah.
It's 'cause I'll go back to a dark place that I would rather like keep under the rugs, but I'm gonna share it for the sake of the conversation right now. Like early in the conversation, I don't even know we were recording then when I was talking about my mother and father, like when they used to have their little difficulties or whatever.
Yeah, he wasn't.
And I remember 100% one day my father pinning my mother to my bed. It wasn't hitting or anything like that, but he had a pin to the bed or whatever. I went to the kitchen, I grabbed the biggest knife I could find. I was running down the hallway with it. I was gonna stab him up because that's my mother.
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
well, she ain't asked me to do that.
No.
As a I think I was 6, as a 6-year-old child, like I gotta do whatever I can to protect her.
Right.
So like, as soon as I came in, I mean, I'm a little boy, a whole grown man, throw the knife to the side, threw me, you know, keep it moving. But like, I would have willingly stabbed her to death.
No, but see, that's
to
not
protect her. But in that moment,
would your mother have asked you to do
she would have never asked me.
That's what I'm saying.
But we can't say that one's morality is what the others will be.
No,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
because your
Like,
morality is whatever. You know, I talk about it all the time. Morality
circumstantial
depends
based as
on,
well.
where you from
Circumstances
and how you
like
grew up.
he could have made a decision on his own. She might not have asked him. He could have known that the gun was in the car and when it done this, the same thing.
But
Like,
the fact that she did ask him is like,
if you
I'm
feel
gonna
for
do
your-
it. If I'm 14 and my mom say, and I see my mom scared, she like,
Yeah.
yo, go get the gun.
Yeah.
I'm going to get
You
the
doing
gun.
that.
Hey, but
you doing that.
Hey, so circle this back though, but culturally though, in our community, you don't talk about our mama.
Right.
You don't say
Yeah.
shit
You
to
don't
our
say
mama.
nothing
Like
about-
you can say anything you want, but you say something about somebody's mama.
That's it.
We about to throw some hands.
That's it. That's all.
Because mamas are off limits at the end of the day.
right now.
Now, just fast forward and you put hands on mama.
It's a wrap.
It's gonna be deadly,
Yeah.
right? And we don't see this happen before, over and over and over again, where motherfuckers' mamas be getting their ass beat by a boyfriend or something, and then
And
the
who's to
son
say
in the
that's not
house
the
and
first
coming in
time
and
he saw
murder
that?
their ass.
That's what I'm saying. I'm never gonna fault him for doing that because I'm 40 years old, man, and somebody you curse at my mama, I might clap you, yo. I'm just off the rip. You have an altercation, you bump into my mother's car, or you make my mom feel in any type of fear. I'm gonna react. I'm gonna make all the bad decisions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Off the rip. Yo, somebody called my girl a bitch one time, man. Like on some traffic shit. I hopped out the car, followed this nigga down the street. I'm yelling at yo, who a bitch? This nigga's running. He's sprinting down the street. I just want to know who a bitch is. You know what I'm saying? That's a bad decision. The nigga could have had a gun.
Hey, hold
he
on,
could have turned
hold
around
on.
and shot
Let's
me.
talk
You know
about
what
that.
I'm
No
saying?
fucks given in that
I
moment.
didn't care. Who a bitch?
Is that not overreacting? Like
Super
you don't think-
overreacting.
Okay,
That's a bad decision.
But
Yo,
that's the love of a son for a mother. You know
so
what I
look,
mean?
I don't fault bad decisions, right? I told you and Biff the story the other day. I told the dude, man, I'm at the gas station. They pulled up behind me. You know, you get a gas station, you pump your gas, you throw your trash away and stuff, right? So I'm throwing my trash little bottles and stuff out of the car. I see him in the car. He like upset because he behind me and I ain't moving yet. And my gas is pumped. I'm throwing. So he get out the car. He an older dude. He like, is you pumping the gas to clean out your car? So he came, like he stepped out the car and kind of like stepped towards me aggressively.
Yeah.
So I instantly made the wrong decision, got out of character, and I'm like, yeah, I'm cleaning my car. What's up? Now what? So now I'm not pumping gas no more and I'm still here. What's up? And he was like, yo, he started like fussing. My mom in here, nigga. Fuck your mother. Your time not more important to me. That's the bad decisions, huh?
Bad decision.
It's
I told
a
him
bad
like, yo,
decision.
Yeah.
It's a bad, but in that moment, because my ego took over and I decided I wanted aggression. He came at me aggressive. I assessed the situation, and I wanted more aggression. I wanted to match his.
Is it ego or is it matching that energy? I guess that
It's
kind of
ego.
goes hand in
Ego.
hand because it's
Ego.
matching that energy. But
Ego.
like, why? What compels us to match energy rather than so we know who we true to, right?
Right.
Being ourselves, our authentic
Right.
selves.
Mm-hmm.
What gets us to that? What escalates us to that point
so-
of like getting outside of who we normally would conduct ourselves to be,
Right.
To get into there.
Your,
You know what I
your
mean?
ego, I read a book about this shit, right? Your ego masks itself under emotion,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your ego will tell you that this man is disrespecting you.
Mm-hmm.
And by disrespecting us,
So let's
we
slow
need
it
to
down.
react because don't nobody disrespect
Let's
us.
slow it down. You've been
know what I'm saying?
you've been disrespected before and not gotten to that
Right,
point, though, right?
but it's saying,
So that-
it's hiding in the emotion. It's saying,
I want to go somewhere with
Yeah.
that because we talked about it earlier when we keep allowing shit to compound within us.
Right.
And so them anger spurts happen because we as men don't allow enough to get out of us.
Yeah.
So it was a 1, 2, 3 effect.
Right.
He was the fourth motherfucker.
And I prefaced it with I was going through some shit that day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was just to myself. I'm just minding my business. I lead with respect for everybody. Yo, I call anybody, no matter if you're younger than me, older than me, I call it like if I'm at a store or something, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, no thank you, yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? I do that to everybody. I give everybody the same respect. I'm cordial. I'm not a nice person, but I'm very cordial to people I don't know. I'm gonna address you and I'm gonna only treat you with the respect off the rip.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna offer you disrespect off the beginning.
Yeah.
But when you do that shit and I'm not messing with you, I'm minding my business, that's when, so I could tell you exactly why it happened. I could tell you why my ego peaked out. For me, when I was growing up, so I've been taller than my father since I was like 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? I had a growth spurt early. Yo, I'm the tallest person in my immediate family. There's nobody even 6 feet in my mother, sister, pops. My pops was like 5'9", my mom 5'6", my sister 5'3". Tallest. I was wearing this nigga shoes to baseball practice when I was 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? No bullshit. I was wearing, that nigga had some Metonics, nigga. I was wearing that shit to baseball practice. So my pops got a little man complex. He's from New York. You know what I'm saying? Grew up in New York, you know, 70s and shit
And
like
he was
that.
5'6". He had little man syndrome
Yeah.
to the max.
And
Me, baby.
Look, 13 brothers and sisters.
Yeah. Oh, he's piping.
Yeah, they grew up around the gangsters. You know what I'm saying? Like, you remember the Biggie? There was a Biggie documentary that came on Netflix.
Yeah.
When they were showing pictures of the 70s.
Yeah.
The second set of pictures of my uncles, both of my uncles in that joint. So they were like gangsters back then with the shirts open, and so that's where he come from. You know what I'm saying? But because I got taller than him, and I would always talk back because I'm gonna get my point off no matter what. I know an ass whooping coming. It's cool. I take that. I'm gonna wear that. Yeah. But you gonna hear what I got to say. You know what I'm saying? And then like I was bigger than him. When I graduated high school, man, I was like 330 pounds. I played football. I was in like athlete football shape. Mm-hmm. So when I got taller than him and he couldn't beat me no more, he would like punch me in the chest, right? But he would punch me in the chest because I'm a thick ass dude, pause. Like you punching me in the chest, it's not gonna hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm bench pressing. I'm in the 1,000-pound club at school and weightlifting for football, whatever. So it came from him never letting me like get my shit off, or I always felt like when I was younger, he would like punk me. You know what I'm saying? So I carried that shit with me throughout my life to a point where now, you're not gonna tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't no bitch.
So it's a trigger.
Yeah. So
anytime somebody opposes your masculinity, it's a trigger.
So if I feel like you talking to me like I'm some type of bitch or something, then now my whole attitude switch. Yeah. And I don't want to hear nothing. I'm not receptive to nothing you got to say. I want violence.
That's him.
I want violence. So what's
all
up?
day.
I can be I don't like to be aggressive, but I'm very aggressive. I'm not passive aggressive. Yeah. If you show me aggression,
100%.
My girl said that when like other dudes come around and I feel like there's like an aggressive, she was like, your posture change. She was like, your shoulders go back. You do like this. She did this shit one day. She was like, I go like this, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
see where I get it from, right? Can you put the similarities between me? He knew me when I was 18, and it's like I was with the nigga. What we doing?
That's where we come from. And then living out here, like listen. If somebody call you a bitch, and especially if you in the streets, somebody call you a bitch or somebody try to take from you in any way, like masculinity or anything like that, violence. If you want to still be out here, you got to prove that shit. Like, you can't, there's no consequences. I might lose this fight, but it's a consequence. I'm on you now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And whatever happened. We could do it however you want to do. It be moments like that where I know I try to check my ego because there was a point in life before I had my daughter that, the respect that I want to command from you in this moment, I'm ready. We could die over this shit right now. You ready to die? I'm cool with dying. You know what I'm saying? To this day, I'm still okay with dying. I don't want to die over nothing stupid.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I know death gonna come. That shit knock on everybody's door.
That's why I asked the question about your trigger points because like I had to understand myself better.
Yeah. You got to take it
all
the way
back. A couple years back, I got there because shit could. I never been. I don't mind violence, but I never look for that. Nah. Never I look for that.
Yeah.
Somebody would have come at me with some shit. I'm not gonna bullshit and say I wouldn't. Check them on the spot type shit. But I'm not willing to die over some shit over me. Right. I'm willing to die over that shit for my kids. Anybody I love, right? Yeah. But like for me, I learned how to be dismissive to like when some rah-rah shit come. Right. When it comes to like me, I'm like, it is what it is. Because I got something more to live for. Right. Mm-hmm. But let that shit move to the left or to the right towards my kids, anybody I love, man. It get different. Yeah, it get different real quick. Right. I'll die over anybody. You know what I mean?
Now,
You got nigga voice, right?
Yeah, nigga, hey, look, we can die right now, nigga. No bullshit. I feel you. That's what it is. That's like a, understanding your trigger points too, because there have been instances where that's happened, and I just be like, you got it, man. And I roll out, you know what I'm saying? But I try to always be cognizant. I try to be honest with myself, right? So I know, because even when I got in the car after the exchange with this nigga, I just told this older man to fuck his mama. Why his mama in the car? You know what I'm saying? She got the little nose joint in it with nigga, I shouldn't have said that shit. I got in the car. I was immediately disappointed with myself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I changed my dynamic. I'm glad you said that. You said two things I wanted to state. I used to, so like, for analogy, right? Somebody, you hold the door open for somebody. They don't say thank you. In me, it's innate within me to just be kind, chivalrous, right? Hold the door open.
You see somebody
I'm not going to recreate my DNA, change who I am just because of this one fuck up, right? Yeah, right. And I moved that to those situations. Like when you stated that, it was the animosity in that moment. The everything came in that one moment. Like, how do we suppress that to the point where we can stay linear in those moments when they win / if they present themselves? Like, how do we get to that point of like just staying in that lane that we usually accustomed to being, our genuine selves, authentic selves, in lieu of getting to that. I'm in full fucking demon mode.
Right.
Like, how we get there?
I think that most times, one of the things you just said was your authentic self. Most of the time, I think men don't feel like they can be their authentic self all the time. And if you can't
Most of the time.
most of the time.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? We talk about this shit all the time.
Yeah,
dog.
word. I think at this age we a whole lot better at it because it's
I'm
kind of like
closer at it. Yeah, I
comfortable
find,
in our skin. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
I am who I am. I'm way better than I was.
we find other ways to be our full selves. You
For
know what I'm
sure.
saying?
For sure.
Good or bad. You know what I'm saying? We find ways to because that shit is gonna eke out because I think that you need it. But a lot of people don't even tap into that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I can use DC and New York, for example, right? The inner city, there is this mentality out there that you always got to be tough. Everybody got an angry fucking face on all the time. Everybody got the fuck you face on, you know, at all times because you got to protect yourself because there's so many outside entities in the inner city that can approach you. You know what I'm saying? If you look like you too happy or you just you might be looking too happy. Now you look like a tourist or some shit.
Case in point with the depression we had. What our prior state about like not allowing yourself to be too happy. You know what I mean? Like, so how do we get away from that culture? Because we always talk about like, yo, I can't do this. I'm a product of that. Yeah. Like, never allowing myself to look presentable. Not presentable, but for someone to present themselves to me. You know what I mean? Like, approachable. You can't come to me. Like, I had to look a certain way. I had to have a certain posture. I had to be this, had to be that. But what am I defending myself against, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Because the next man that's doing the same shit,
why am I still doing it?
He's doing it because it's like a cultural alliance to some shit that we don't even understand. Yeah. Nobody gave us the why to that. Yeah. We don't ever seek the whys, but we accepted that shit, but we don't accept the why to something that's more reasonable.
Right. Yeah. Because you accept it. You accept stuff that you see. You see somebody be like, "Oh, I feel disrespected." Now we got to handle that. You know, especially being '80s babies, we grew up through the '90s, where you know stepping on a nigga's shoe is life threatening.
Real
you know what I'm saying? Like if you step on a nigga's shoe, damn near the only way to avoid that shit is to say, "My apologies," and wipe this nigga's shoe off.
Fault. And ain't nobody wiping my L. Lashing and eat that too, because you know a motherfucker gonna get left with his cheek.
Fuck you walking there, nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You gonna say some
and I'm not wiping
shit.
a nigga's shoe off. So
I'm not wiping a nigga's shoe off.
Not
you
at
know
all.
what I'm saying?
Nah,
like,
not at all.
Yeah, I'll give you the head.
Nah,
like,
miss me with that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if it ain't gonna go past like the my bag type of gesture.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say
no more
bad
words.
and then get on my knees and
I'm
apologize sometimes.
Yeah.
But that right there, you know, that also is our ego, because a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo, it would really be common courtesy if I scuff your shit off to be like, my bad, dog.
If it was intentional or some shit like that.
It would be common courtesy to do
Yeah, but see, I think if you in a club, dog, you should expect somebody to fucking step on your fucking feet.
Yeah,
so therefore you shouldn't be.
In this, right?
You shouldn't be like all mad because I stepped on your feet and the face is
hold
packed.
on.
Like,
now, if I'm sitting off to the side, right? Because I did this to somebody one time. I'm drunk. I'm walking up the steps. I trip. You know, I'm not falling. So I'm catching myself, grab my joint, boom, smushed all on his shoe. It was an accident. Like his shoe became my point to get my footing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mashed his joint up. You know what I mean? So but I stopped and I was like, yo, my bad, fam. You know what I'm saying? My bad.
He got to eat that.
Let me go get you a
why
drink
you
or
wore those
something.
in here anyway?
Yeah, you got to eat that.
But see, he could have stood up. He was with enough people to pound me out, son. He could have beat the shit out of me, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's enough of them. They had a whole section. I stumbled into this nigga's section and stepped on this nigga's foot. Like, I'm really violating your space. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. In that case, you got to do.
I might even said fuck him to his face. You know what I mean? But it wasn't even.
Yeah, look, my bad. I'll get niggas a drink. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do. See, now I try my best when my ego doesn't get. Like, my advanced ego doesn't get the best of me. I try my best to first, I diffuse the situation. If I come in somewhere and I see niggas with the angry face and shit like that, I've learned that I can, everybody has that energy a lot of times, right?
Yeah.
Until somebody comes in and gives the okay to release that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I come in, I'm smiling, you know what I'm saying? Peace, fam, how you? You know what I mean? So like that, you'll see a nigga whole face change. When you're not on no shit and niggas see, like, you know, I ain't about to ask you nothing, you know, my bad, cuz. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that, it diffuses the situation. Or make a joke in the store, everybody laughing, it diffused the tightness. Cause you like, all right, no, he not in here on no shit. I'm not in here on no shit. Like, I can walk into a group of people.
But why is that dependent upon location, locale, who you're around? You know what I mean? Like, we say it's ego.
It's ego in the environment.
But it's To a degree, I think.
Yeah.
Because some
Environment plays a big
motherfuckers is like, yo, if I was with three of my main men, right? Let's say 3 and 3, and I got 3, calm-headed, level-headed motherfuckers, and I got the 3 hot-heads. You with them hot-heads, you acting different
Yeah.
than you were with them. So, like, why is it that, like, our authentic selves is not there in that, regardless of the environment?
Because your
me?
authentic self shows up in different rooms.
It does.
So it's like, you know what I mean?
Is it your authentic self or is it your representative?
No, I think so. I think we man, you had this conversation before too. I think it is your authentic self, right? Because the example would be this: if you was in a room full of kids, right, you're not going to be cursing and carrying on, talking about who you fucking and the
because of the environment. Yeah.
Because of the environment, and you're still being authentic. Your authentic self will not allow you to have those conversations in front of these kids because you got this respect level.
Because of the
same
the
shit.
respect.
So,
I got you.
Yeah, so it's like we change. Our ego is really based on the environment. Because if you have in certain situations, if you by yourself, your ego is very quiet.
Yeah.
You ain't got nobody to prove nothing to.
Yeah.
Like you by yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, if somebody sees that,
So who do I have to
ego
prove
kicks
anything
into a
to
different-
other than myself, though?
My ego takes effect when I gotta prove it to myself. I don't never, like when I said that shit to old buddy's mom, I was dolo. My ego actually deflates when I'm with other people. Like if in the example that you gave, if you know what I'm saying, with the wild dudes, you already know what I'm doing. I'm watching to make sure that y'all don't get too wild. The same when I'm with my calm dudes, they calm. I'm watching to make sure no wild niggas.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the same. I'm not gonna talk the same. They call that it's similar to like how they say code switching, but it's not. It's you are reading the room. I don't think that's not being your authentic self.
Yeah.
I think being your authentic self means to me is I'm gonna be the same no matter who I'm around. That doesn't have to do anything to do with talking about the base of who you are. It's not gonna change. You know,
Your alertness is the same, but you matching the intensity of the room.
Right.
Yeah,
Matching pace of the room. You know what I'm saying? If kids in the room, the pace of the room ain't to talk about bitches and I'm about to smoke some weed. You know, none of that shit.
Yeah, environment. We can use your example. Environment is everything. Even with the dude at the gas station.
Yeah.
If he would have been mad and pulled off and left, your ego would have been like, fuck that nigga. And it would have stopped right there. You would have kept doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
As soon as he would have removed himself in a situation, your ego would have took a different route.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like environment, situations, it determines how your ego shows up.
To add to that, even if he had just been like, hey, excuse me, man, you gonna be a minute? I'd be like, oh, my bad, dog. Get up out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
So
The way
do we
he
ever
approached
blend? Do we ever blend? And I agree.
Yeah.
100%. Do we ever blend rationale with ego? Because we know the rational approach, what that looks like, right? Because, and the only reason I say this, because since we touched back on the conversation, he's an older man, right? Older man. We talked about kids, how respect-based toward the kids, but we also knew how respect works towards the elders,
Right.
the elder statesmen, if you will. So how do we divide the line between where that respect will and won't?
I think you got to understand, like how we were talking about earlier. So, like that book I read, it was an Indian cat, but it's all about your ego, and you have to recognize that your ego really doesn't serve a super positive impact on you. You know what I'm saying? Like your ego really doesn't serve you how you think it does. You know what I'm saying? Ego really only serves you in being super confident or overconfident and walking into a room, because that confidence can blast on to other people. That's my opinion. But the ego, in the other sense, it's not even rationale. See, your ego will tell you that it's rationale, because it'll help you rationalize the way that you're moving or your actions.
Because some people egos are overinflated, but
Yeah.
some are underinflated.
no,
so how do we? Many things I agree with. I try to find. I'm struggling right now to understand like ego and rationale. Because for me, ego
That's
and
the
rationale don't go hand in
But see,
hand.
that's what I'm
You know
saying.
what I mean?
That's the problem, because it's hard to understand your ego, because your ego is so wrapped up in everything that you do that it's so hard to separate them. So it's easy to blend. That's why I said it hides in emotions. It hides behind intention. So while you think you're doing this with a pure intention, it could be your ego. You know what I'm saying? But that's all individual to the person. Whether you have a big ego or a small ego, the ego is going to appear in your actions in some way.
But
if you don't know how to separate it.
You've been faced with situations where your ego match and somebody else's, like we keep accelerating. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like the rationale aspect of it, I don't think aligns with ego, because I could come to you knowing I'm here. I'm a 3 on the scale. but you gave it 6, so I gave it 7. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
7 is uncommon for me,
Right.
but I gave it 7. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like,
You think you're being rational, but really you're being led
Not
by
at
your
all.
ego.
But,
Not
that-
at
but,
all.
that- but that's
Yeah.
my point, because that's so what it is. You gotta look at your ego as another version of yourself, right? Your ego is whispering to you, and it's when you think you use a rationale, it's like, yo, this makes sense, dog. Go ahead and do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this nigga just gave you a 6. Get that nigga a 7 right now.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you don't know that in the moment because this shit is taking over. So you gotta look at it like it's another entity that is a part of you that you really have to take time to understand and like have a conversation with almost.
But if we're saying that we being our authentic selves, then how do we not know when we exceeding our norm? I guess that's what I'm kind of getting at. Is like, because if I'm maintaining true to myself, if I'm staying true to myself, knowing like I'm here, shit presents itself like, you know what, fuck it, I guess I gotta take the high road.
Yeah.
Or it's like, nah, bro, fuck it.
That's
We're
when
on
you
demon
gotta
time.
ask yourself. That's when you gotta ask yourself. Because I mean, listen, that doesn't mean that every time you do something negative, it's your ego, right?
Yeah.
Because you could do something negative because you're making a choice. But you also have to understand that your ego exists to influence your choices also.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's also that demon we supposed to pray away, man. That's
But is
our
it
ego.
to combat disrespect, or is it to make
gotta-
yourself appear more
that's what you
masculine
gotta
in the
ask
moment?
yourself.
That's my biggest thing.
Yeah,
Is like,
you got to ask yourself. You got to say, "Hey, right now, is this really that important to me to stand on, or is my ego telling me that I need to stand on this because this level of disrespect is not tolerated?"
Yeah.
Now, ask yourself the same question: am I being disrespected in a manner that I'm ready to take A to B so C gets to D? Am I ready to do that over this action? Is it really that important to me?
Does it go
and
that
if it's
deep?
not
Yeah.
that important to you, that's your ego.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? And if it is that important to you, then that's your rationale.
get
You know
it.
what I'm saying? But even when it's your rationale, you still gonna have when you really get down to it, you gotta question all your decisions being ego related or not.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? There is like when people do like acid or do mushroom trips, they have what's called like ego death.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
basically what it is, it's like ego death is a form of when you taking like enhanced drugs, like you taking like a mushroom or an acid or taking them shits together, like a hallucinogen or DMT or something like that. It's like it's showing you almost like a worse or like the worst version of yourself, or it's like the harshest conversation you having with yourself.
Yeah.
And it's like you they call it an ego death because you really feel like in the moment that you're dying. You know what I'm saying? But it's actually your ego dying. When you see people like, all right, you ever watch Mike Tyson, his podcast? You see how he be talking? He's experienced ego death before. And you can hear in the earlier podcast, like after he did the Toad and all that shit, and he telling you about his experience and how, I'm nothing. And in this world of things, we're all gonna die. And the way he's talking about it is you see somebody who's experienced that, where they're looking at life now from a lens of, everything don't revolve around me. You know what I'm saying? Because your ego will make you look at the world around you and feel like people are out to get you and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's your ego talking to you.
Real talk.
That's your ego that's making you crazy, and you fighting against that. And your regular mind is fighting against your ego and your spirit. And that's the clash. And that's where that depression and all that shit come from. It's y'all clashing with two opposing ideas. We're not on the same page. You know what I'm saying?
real talk.
One is overtaking the other, and it's constantly whispering in my ear, telling me I ain't good enough because I ain't do this, or that these people are expecting me to be somebody that I don't know if I could be.
Yeah, real
I can't
talk.
be this to them every day. Or it's too much pressure for me. Or damn, man, yo, you got to make sure that you can still fuck a bunch of bitches, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yo, you ain't getting no love outside. Fuck that, man. These bitches love you, man. Go show everybody how much love you get. Shit like that is your ego talking to you.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, on the note of fucking all the bitches, we had 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Sheesh.
I know.
That's it. I thought it was longer than that, to be honest, bro.
Nah,
I was
2
seeing the
hours.
clock moving. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been 2 hours. So is that Goldie? Am I tripping? Did y'all hear something over there?
Low done ducked off.
Yeah, he said he was getting a haircut or something.
Yeah,
right?
he just left to get it. I thought I heard something behind me.
Okay.
That's why.
Nah, he sign
so,
language and shit.
So I'm gonna just wrap it up. Yeah. He need to turn the air down in this bitch. All right, so appreciate everybody tuning in to another episode of the Unorthodox Haven. Today was a good episode, man. The 3 people that I sat down with, I've known all of them 20 years or more. So it was a real comfortable space for me to sit down and actually listen and have some dope conversation with men that I feel more like brothers to me at this point. Like, so great conversation. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Hopefully you pull something from this conversation. We got we talk about a lot of good shit. So hopefully you pull something from this conversation, take it forward, have the conversation with your family members or the ones you're around. Hopefully it inspires you to have open conversations. Hopefully it inspires you to have hard conversations. Hopefully it inspires you to push through to getting over those hard points of just expressing yourself and getting yourself on the same level with the peers around you. So again, thank you for tuning in to the Unorthodox Haven Podcast. Make sure you check us out on all streaming platforms, Spotify, iTunes. What else we on? We on iHeart now, all the major DSPs, and we on YouTube too. So check us out over there. Check out the other podcasts we got going on. Shout out to Space and Shine Podcast. Brandon Khalil curates that podcast over there. Shout out to him. Shout out to Pizzo. No, Pizzo probably on my neck right now, man, because I've been out of pocket for a little bit. But shout out to Pizzo, man. I got a podcast with him, The Crib Podcast, The Crib Show. The Crib Show, DA Crib Show Podcast. Check that out, man. We got some real dope interviews with some dope people. Pusha T, we got Bink, the Humble Monster. We got Angus Black is the most recent episode. So make sure you go over there and check that out. Be on the lookout for All Things Plants. We just, All Things Plant, the podcast. Search for that on all your DSPs as well. We just dropped 1 episode of that. That's with myself and LB. Check that out. All Things Plant, the podcast, man. Follow her on all the platforms. Check out ATP in general. All Things Plants in general. Just dope content over there, man. Shout out to her. We got some work. We actually linking up and podcasting tomorrow. I think that's all the shout outs, man. Shout out to. Oh yeah, I got too long and shit. My man in the back telling me I'm rambling a little too much. So peace, everybody. Tune in to the next time. You know what I mean? Until next time. Peace. Be dope. All that good shit. Peace.
Unorthodox Haven Podcast.